on the table is an actual discussion for the creation of a deputy mayor post in the city. It's just something has got to give for the city of Johannesburg. And as residents, we all have to think about what this means, especially given that we are in an election year. So we're going to be watching that debate in council and seeing then what becomes of it, especially because much of it also is going to come down to the internal factions of the ANC itself. So who will be colluding with who to push whose interests? And I deliberately phrase it that way because it's not the people's interests that are being championed here, not with these kind of results. So that's one of the stories that we'll keep a close eye on this morning. So back to the commission. Major General Sinona yesterday was asked a question by the evidence leader, Adila Hassim, senior counsel, and just listen to this exchange because I believe it encapsulates how the day unfolded.
Why were you taking his calls, for example, if you were cutting ties with him?
I've already given my response to that. But taking calls is not in my culture to just drop other people's calls. But I've already given my response that gradually I was doing that. The commissioners have asked me, they were very robust with me before we go on lunch. I gave my response, they gave I want to say their opinion or the way they are taking it, and then it was closed.
That's fine if that's how you want to answer it, but the question, General, is not whether it's in your culture to cut ties with people. It's about your duties as a senior law enforcement officer. Isn't that the real question? What your duties are, rather than whether culturally it's appropriate to cut ties with somebody who's an alleged criminal?
No, I'm saying I was responding to your question. The commissioners, I was responding to the question that why did you take his calls or give him the contact details of the former minister? I was responding to that. I was not responding to me as a senior police officials not to answer the phones. And then over and above that, when a phone rings, you answer.
Please be patient. The likelihood is that there are going to be lots more questions that lead to this very point, based on whatever else reference may be made to in the documentation that we have. So just please be patient. You are going to be asked, or at least let me say there is a likelihood that you will be asked a lot more questions that take us back to this very point that you say you have responded to. So just be patient. Thank you. My kids would say, please chill.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Cathy Mohlahlana on SAFM.
Sanibonani dumelang absheni lochani Mzansi igama lam nguzanele untomdodwa uzinhluzelza, but you can simply call me Uzanele Mthombeni. I am your new host, khona yi Ekaslami, the TV show that profiles some of your absolute faves celebrities. I'm talking wena actor, musician, bona politician, benekanti zonke bonke zikhona, and we take them to Ekasi and find out who exactly they were before all the glitz, glam, lights, cameras, and action. Oh, bye, Uzi.
Uzi, mutokulayo, kula kamnandi.
Ekaslami, Tuesday at 6 on SABC 1. Mzansi for sure.
The Billy Goats are hunting for 3 points in their own backyard to find a suitable position in the top half, while Wolves believe only victory can unlock the door to comfort. This is the Bundesliga, football as it's meant to be. Catch FC Köln versus VfL Wolfsburg on Friday, 30 January at 9:30 p.m. Live on SABC Plus and SABC Sport on DTT Channel 4. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
With Outsurance, I'm saving a whole 729 Rand.
Another satisfied Outsurance client saving more money every month. 32-year-old Perushka saves 729 Rand a month on her 2020 Haval H2. And after 3 claim-free years, she gets an out bonus.
Yes, I'm ready for that out bonus.
How much money could Outsurance save you? Get a quote now. SMS out to 30754. That's out to 30754. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
Welcome to it. This is season 1 of Playlist happening right here at Malok, and believe me, it's a party.
Set your reminder every Friday, 9 p.m. Playlist at Maloko is in the building.
You can become a victim of a legal problem: wrongful arrest, assault, uncontested divorce, rental disputes, maintenance matters, or labor problems. It can happen to you. Clientele Legal provides tough professional lawyers for an affordable monthly premium. Our legal team is standing by to assist you 24 hours a day. Join today. SMS SAFM to 32195. That's SAFM to 32195. Clientele General is an authorized FSP and licensed non-life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
The Talking Point with Cathy Mohlahlana. Weekdays, 9 a.m. till midday.
All right, so let's do what we can in as far as the open line, your national roundtable. Remember the number to dial this morning, 086 000 2032, and on the WhatsApp voice note line, 0614 104 107. One of the listeners says, Cathy, you sound like you had a couple of glasses last night. Yes, of course I had a couple of glasses of water. Huh? I drink lots and lots of water. Let me go to KZN. Jolene Komo, good morning.
Good morning, Madam Cathy. How are you?
Well, thank you. Go for it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me go straight to the point. I'm very disappointed with this commission of Madlanga Commission. They are so soft and they don't want to touch sensitive areas. They are treating people who have damaged this country with kids' gloves. One of the things that I have noted yesterday, this Hawks chief of KZN, Senona, he is so arrogant. He made a very shocking statement yesterday, and nobody challenged him on that one. He said they were discussing private matters with Cathy Mohlahlana, things that he cannot disclose even on camera and on the commission. He's not prepared to explain what were those things. Remember, he is suspected of having some information about the president. Now, that means his arrogance points to the fact that he is so arrogant, he knows that he's got the backing of the president. And in our eyes as the public, it leaves a picture that President himself, Ramaphosa, is part of the mafia state that is running this country. The arrogance of that man. He knows that nobody can touch him, and he's telling the commission that they were discussing things which he cannot disclose in the commission and which he cannot disclose even on camera. What is this? And nobody is challenging this. The worst, let me lastly, the mainstream media except SABC, nobody is talking about this. Nobody, because President Ramaphosa is part of the white mafia that is there to control this country like this. What is this?
So, Jolene Komo, when I look at what he said and I think about what has happened with other witnesses, and I remember here the crime intelligence head, Dumsano Khumalo in particular, my understanding of it is that when it comes to the evidence that is not publicly stated, and questions that sort of have that element, that those questions are still going to be answered and submitted to the commission, but it will be in redacted formats. So, because if you remember when Dumisani Khumalo was also giving evidence, there was a lot that he kept referencing, which he said he can't talk about, he can't disclose, even if, he's testifying in camera. So this is information that one deems or assumes might be deemed classified, right? And
Yes.
I guess the clarity we need from the commission, if I have missed it perhaps, is how do they give the public the assurance that that information is information that they sit with? Yes, we might not have it, but that ultimately that kind of information is still going to feed into what they look at when making decisions around findings and recommendations.
Okay, I get you, Cathy.
Yes.
The most worrying picture that we are getting, the arrogance of this gentleman, and he knows that he's got a political backing. And ANC is so quiet in this one too. Remember the days when we had ANC Youth League, which they used to be vocal in matters like this. Currently, everyone is silent because everyone they want to make sure that they are on the right side of the. It's a shocking statement that a private criminals, they do have the information of the president. In fact, the president should recommend to say he wants to come in so that he can take the country into confidence.
Absolutely.
Because other than, unless he is the part of the mafia.
Okay.
That's what we have in our mind. Thank you,
Okay.
Cathy.
All right. Jolin Komo in KZN, we'll have to leave it there. And it reminded me, Jolin Komo, of the fact that the president's private information has been breached before. You remember when he was deputy president? That's how we ended up with the nickname Cupcake. Because sometimes some people don't know why the president's nickname, in inverted commas, is Cupcake, or why he's called Cupcake. But that emanated from a breach of his personal information. All right, it's 9:30, time for the latest news. And on the other side of this, we'll go straight back to the commission for day 3 of Major General Lesetja Senona's evidence.
With headlines, Samtino Motaung, a very good morning. 11 people have reportedly been killed in a crash involving multiple vehicles on the R102 at Ispingo, south of Durban. In other news, the High Court sitting in Mbombela, Mpumalanga, is expected to sentence 44-year-old Busiso Mohlahlana of Nas in Nkomazi. Mohlahlana was found guilty of killing his girlfriend Fikile Mokoena in August 2024. And opposition party Action SA is calling for the next South African Revenue Service Commissioner to be appointed from within the organization. A full update follows in later bulletins.
Stellies are serious about winning on home soil. However, CRB want to celebrate victory on their flight back to Algeria. This is the CAF Confederation Cup. Stellenbosch FC versus CR Belouizdad this Sunday, 1 February at 2:30 p.m. Live on SABC Plus and SABC2. Also available on SABC radio stations at 3 p.m. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
This message is brought to you by Eskom, redefining for a better future.
Are you running a business? Every rand counts. Save electricity and cut costs by switching off lights, computers, and aircons after hours. Use energy-efficient lighting and equipment and make saving electricity part of your daily routine. Smart energy habits mean lower bills and greener business future. Let's power success efficiently.
Let's use electricity wisely. Eskom.
Like a mother's love, Mama Money is always there for the things that matter most. This back-to-school season, when school fees need to be sent home, trust Mama Money to help you support your family with ease. With fees from just 2%, you can send money to over 70 countries across Africa, Asia, and Europe using the Mama Money app. Get started today. Download the app now, register, and make education happen. Mama Money. Mama makes it happen.
Stellies are serious about winning on home soil. However, CRB want to celebrate victory on their flight back to Algeria. This is the CAF Confederation Cup. Stellenbosch FC versus CR Belouizdad this Sunday, 1 February at 2:30 p.m. Live on SABC Plus and SABC2. Also available on SABC radio stations at 3 p.m. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
You are listening to the Madlanga Commission, live on SAFM.
Commission insists on Major General Senona giving evidence on the date contained in the subpoena. Same will amount to unfair hearing. As is known, on 9 October, Major General Senona received a Rule 3 notice accompanied by 4 pages of Lieutenant General Khumalo's transcript for 29 September. The notice further accompanied by WhatsApp chats allegedly evidencing conversation between Major General Senona and Mr. Vusumuzi Matlala. WhatsApp chats were sent sans attached SEN1 to SEN7. On 17 October, we addressed a letter to the Commission wherein we expressed our client's inability to respond to Rule 3 notice because of the insufficient information documents provided. We also requested that we be furnished with all the relevant evidence in the Commission's possession for the purpose of our client's response. On the 20th of October, our offices were further wrote to the Commission, specifically Mrs. Mary Walsnut, requesting a full transcript of Lieutenant General Khumalo dated 29. Mr. Walsnut reverted with same on the even date. On the 6th of November 2025, almost 3 weeks since the transmission of our letter dated 17 October, we still awaited your response to our request for further evidence. We wrote to the Commission to inquire as to their response, as a 3-week wait was hardly unreasonable. On Sunday, 9 November 2025, a few days short of a month from the date of our request, we finally received a response of refusing to furnish us with the requested information. The reasons were as follows. Commissioner, we finally received the response refusing to furnish us with the requested information. The reasons as follows. I'm going to read this text. The full extent of your client's implication by Lieutenant General Khumalo is contained within his oral evidence and supporting annexures has already before the Commission. That is in the transcripts accompanying annexures which have already been provided to yourself, which are publicly accessible. We reverted to our letter dated 14 November 2025. We clarified once again that the evidence of Lieutenant General Khumalo was insufficient and he took ill and did not address all the WhatsApp chats concerning our clients. We further inform your offices that the evidence as it relates to WhatsApp messages given by Witness X and Lieutenant Khumalo instead. We pause to draw your attention to Witness X confirmation of the above in paragraph 3 of her statement, which states, General Khumalo was only able to analyze and present the contents of one of these charts records, in bracket is Mr. Mohotsi, before failing seriously ill, which necessitated the adjournment of the proceedings on the 3rd day of the evidence. We maintained our position that evidence was insufficient. We insisted on receiving the statements and annexures of Witness X and Lieutenant General Khumalo and WhatsApp annexures SEN1 to SEN7 and the transcripts of General Khumalo on the 4th and the 5th of November, should they be relevant. Kindly take note that none of the requested documents were publicly available at all relevant times thereto. On 21st November 2025 at 15:35.
Apologies, General. Ms. Mafisa, Ms. Hassim, what was the date when the General appeared before us? Please remind me.
The date of the?
When the General appeared before the Commission late last year.
26 November.
26 November, yes. General, everything you are saying or going through right now predates 26 November 2025 when you appeared before us. And if you are talking unfairness and possibly not having information that you required, my understanding, and this has been repeated before this commission, is that at some point, after all of what you are referring to, after all that correspondence in respect of which you were complaining about outstanding material, at some point you said, I now have everything and I'm ready for the commission to proceed. So the point I'm making is perhaps, and I'm not cutting you on the point you are making, the point of substance. If you can take it after the date, if there's anything at all to say in that regard, may you please take it after you had said, now I have everything. But before that, I'm not so sure where all of this is taking us.
Thank you, Commissioners. I've taken note of that. Just wanted to inform the Commission on record the challenges I went through even before I appeared on the 26th of November, where some of the documents were issued on the very same day that I appeared upon, which for me by then it was not. Even the files that commissioners we were required to receive over the weekend, and then the commissioner's attorneys promised to deliver those files at my attorney's offices, of which it didn't happen. At some stages, it prejudiced one as a witness in the commission to come and testify or prepare. So I wanted to bring that under the attention of the commission, that in one of the commissioner's ruling was that all persons mentioned before these commissions, prior to them being mentioned, they must be informed and provided with the relevant documents and information in order for them to prepare. And failure to do that will have a prejudice on them. I think it is your good self, Commissioner, when you gave that ruling earlier. So I wanted this to be on record so that the commissioners must know also the challenges that I have experienced. Some of the documents we received annexures on the 27th, Tuesday. This morning, we received an email of another document, of which I'm not sure I'm going to be cross-examined by that document or not, but these practices, I feel that I'm being prejudiced. I thank you for the opportunity, Commissioners. Thank you very much. That is what I wanted to highlight.
Thank you very much, General. General, let me for a moment leave aside the document that you've just mentioned right at the tail end. About the rest of the documents, those that you say you were given fairly recently, I did not get a sense, not from you, not from Ms. Mafisa, until now, that you were not able meaningfully and effectively to participate in the proceedings of the commission. It was only yesterday that for the first time, when you showed us the blank or redacted texts, that one got a sense that you were suggesting some unfairness. But before that, there was not a hint whatsoever that you were not able meaningfully and effectively to participate in the proceedings. Did I get a wrong sense, Ms. Mafisa?
Chairperson, I will gently remind the chairperson and the commissioners that regarding one of the occasions relates to the video that was played a couple of days ago of the alleged internal meeting of the SAPS. I stated, I rather objected that we did not get enough time to actually watch that video and to further consult with the client. And I did state that it unfairly prejudices Major General Sonona and also the legal team, because we were unable to watch that evidence and to even put it, or rather address it within our statement. And I do think that it was unfair. And just regarding some of the documents that we have received, whether it's when we arrive here at the Commission, I definitely do second what Major General Sonona is saying. There were documents that I personally received, I think it was on Tuesday, with my attorney as well. And I was quite upset by that, Chairperson, because I feel as though as a legal representative, my attorneys as well, we were not given sufficient time to read through these documents. And I don't think I can say anything better than what Major General Sonona has already said, but for the video also just evidences the inability for us as the legal team to properly prepare and to properly prepare with Major General Sonona.
Thank you, Ms. Mafisa. The General is quite correct in saying that I have emphasized that this commission wants to treat everybody appearing before it fairly. It's not its intention to prejudice anybody, and I think I actually used that word. And this is something I've expressed more than once previously. And I have expressed it in contexts that did not relate to specific individuals. I would say that, or this broadly and generally. I continue to say that. Now, regarding the video which you give as an example in responding to my question whether there have been any hints of prejudice, I will agree that it was indeed and would have been prejudicial to General Sonona to be questioned in connection with that video without him having had sufficient time to consider it, and indeed without his legal representatives having considered it and consulted with him about it. But in that regard, the reality is that that video was given to the General and to the General's legal representatives overnight, for them to consider it overnight. And the following morning, I did not, and overnight, I did not get to hear that there were still complaints of prejudice in that regard. Yes, you do indicate your annoyance at getting other documents. I think you mentioned even the 26th. But that takes us back to the point I made earlier, which is, was the Commission advised that there would be prejudice in respect of those? I'm not saying it was not, but I do not recall that it was. If it was, the probability is that the Commission would have reacted in a similar manner as it did with the video, which is in respect of whatever documents you felt the General would be prejudiced. It being the Commission, it would probably have reacted in a similar manner. But as I say, I emphasize that I may well be making a mistake in saying that you or the General did not alert us to prejudice, potential or possible prejudice with regard to other material other than the video. I perhaps before you respond, because I saw your instructing attorney whispering, and you may want to respond. Perhaps before you do that, let me just invite comment from Ms. Hassan.
Thank you, Chair. There's quite a lot that's been said. And, you know, the objection was raised yesterday about documents that were apparently not provided, like the annexures, which is just incorrect. All of those documents had been provided by 26 November at the request of the witness's legal representatives. What the witness and his legal representatives failed to tell the Commission is how delayed they were in providing the Commission with their statement to enable us to finalize our preparation for the hearing. And they received numerous instances of correspondence from us. At one point, in fact, having to warn them that they were at risk at committing an offense under the Commissions Act for failing to comply with the deadline. So it's true that there were certain documents that only arrived, that we were only able to provide to them over the weekend before coming here and early this week. But no objection was raised in respect of those documents. And those documents are documents that are actually within the witness's possession. It's not documents he's never seen before. So it's not a surprise document that, when I say in his possession, I mean documents that are his documents in another context, which we will obviously get to when we go through evidence here. So, but the problem was never raised. For the first time yesterday, this complaint was raised. And I think it's raised belatedly. I think it is derailing us. We have limited time, and unless there's an issue that needs to be resolved, which I don't understand there to be, I would suggest that we move forward. All of the documentation that the witness needs, he has. Sorry, the last thing is receiving the statement late really did prejudice this team. There's a lot of information to gather in order to present and coordinate and collate evidence to present before the Commission in these hearings.
So are you saying that the lateness of providing the General with the documents was as a result of the lateness of his statement?
We certainly needed to see the statement in order to know where we were going to go ultimately in our questioning. We couldn't know that until we saw the statement. So absolutely, yes, it did.
You just make me understand this. If you have the documents and you know or possibly know that you are going to be using them, is there anything that stops the evidence leaders from furnishing the other side with the documents?
No, Chair. We couldn't know what avenues we needed to investigate further until we received the statement. So documents, I received possession of documents through my own inquiries late, and only after the statement had been provided.
Any further submissions, Ms. Hassim?
No further submissions.
Thank you. Ms. Mafisa?
Thank you, Chairperson. I must first start with not our first appearance, but our second appearance on the 27th of January. I'm a little bit tired, Chairperson. But on the 27th of January, we did communicate to the evidence leader. I specifically communicated to the evidence leader in person that the documents that we received on that particular day it was perhaps maybe unfair to give the legal team those documents that belatedly on Tuesday. I did not have enough time to read through the documents. My attorney did not have time to read through those documents, and Major General Sonona. So I would like to make it quite clear that this was communicated in person to the evidence leader when we received those documents. Then regarding my learned senior's argument that all of the documents had been received by the 26th of November, 2025, I dispute that.
I'm not sure that Ms. Hassim said that.
Perhaps, okay, if Ms. Hassim
I think what has been said, even including late last year, is that at some point the General, obviously through his legal representatives, communicated to the Commission that he had now received everything he wanted. That is what I remember. Not that all the documents, including those that were received only on the 26th, had been given to the general last year already. I did not understand Ms. Hassim to say so.
Thank you, Chairperson. I will also address that particular issue. So I do think that I must make it quite clear all of the documentation that we actually received from the 26th of November, and then I will go after the 26th of November. I don't think it's necessary for us to do any of the documents predating that. But on the 26th of November, the only documents that we still required, Commissioners, is SCN 1 to SCN 7. So we duly received those. We were given a memory stick, and my attorney was able to send the rest of the legal team as well, SCN 1 to SCN 7. So there's no issue regarding that. However, yesterday evidence was led on the WhatsApp chats, unredacted WhatsApp chats. As of yesterday, we had not received the unredacted WhatsApp chats. We confirmed that we received SCN 1 to SCN 7, but the unredacted WhatsApp chats attached to some of those annexures, we did not actually receive them. And I think that's what Major General Sonona was trying to communicate yesterday when he himself raised that particular objection.
When did you receive those for the first time? Because as the testimony was being given and as questions were being asked around those texts, I did not get an impression that you did not have those texts in front of you. So at some point you received them. When did you receive them?
Thank you, Chairperson. May I quickly just have a chat?
I'm asking this apropos your point that you did not have them in an unredacted form. Yes. Sort of giving the impression that up to this point you still do not have them. No, so that's why I want to know what exactly you mean and at what point did you receive them?
Yes, no, my apologies if it actually came across as that. No, Chairperson. Perhaps maybe let me rephrase myself or just properly describe to the Chairperson the true facts. So we only received the unredacted WhatsApp chats. I think, please, I must be, perhaps maybe I should be open to correction here, but it was on Sunday in the evening. So we were in possession by the time that we came to the Commission, but this is the issue. Yesterday, I think a question was asked, and again, Commissioners, please correct me if I'm wrong, why did Major General Sonona not cover certain issues in the statement? And so I think even with these messages, had we received them prior to Sunday, because we submitted our statement on Thursday the 22nd of January, we would have been able to deal with them properly within the statement. So that's the only reason why I'm mentioning this issue of the unredacted messages. It did not give us an opportunity to deal with them correctly within the statement. So when Major General Sonona was questioned on these things, unfortunately, it wasn't already placed within his statement. And I realized from the commissioners over the last 3 days that it is quite important to deal with certain things within the statement. And so these are my submissions to the Commission, unless perhaps I must chat to my attorney. I might forget certain things, but I think that is it for me. Thank you, Commissioners.
Sorry, Chair.
Oh, sorry, Chair.
Are you done?
Thank you. Thank you. I just forgot to mention one point just regarding the belated statement. I would like to apologize to the evidence leader and any prejudice that may have caused to the Commission. I must state that on Friday, when we were finalizing the statement, I just now don't recall the dates, my apologies. But on Friday, the 16th of January, when we were supposed to submit the statement, we had our consultation with the client, just going through the statement. He then informed the legal team that there was another implication by Witness C. Witness C had stated certain things, and so Unfortunately, we did not want to submit that statement prior to us actually seeing what witness C had said, just in case the Commission actually leads evidence on what witness C has stated in the statement. So we did address a letter to the Commission's attorneys on Friday, and I will accept that it was quite belatedly, and we do apologize for that. It was Friday sometime in the evening at about 6, after we had missed the deadline. We do accept that responsibility. We addressed a letter to the Commission saying that it seems as if there's another witness that may have implicated Major General Sonona. We would like to receive a little bit of time to consider this. And I hope now I don't have my dates mixed up. I don't have the correspondence before me. But that's essentially actually what we were trying to do. We were trying to first, read the documents concerning witness C, and I think then we also sent a letter to the Commission's attorneys requesting the transcripts and the relevant recording that witness C had made mention of in the evidence, so that we can just consider all of that. It wasn't available online. I will say that the Commissioner's attorneys, they provided that to us very, very quickly, and they also assured us that witness C's evidence would not actually be used in Major General Sonona's leading of evidence or even in the probing. And so then we endeavored to, yes, and then that's when we submitted the statement. But I must definitely apologize for belatedly submitting that statement, because I do understand the prejudice that the evidence leader and the team will have in circumstances like that. But I hope I'm not going to be held to some sort of gunpoint just regarding the dates. Genuinely, I do not recall.
No, not just the dates, no.
It was just the gist, yes, that I would like to communicate to the commissioners. I don't think there's anything else from our side. Thank you.
There's a lot of detail there, which I think Ms. Hasimi is entitled to respond to.
So, Chair, the first thing is, yes, we were informed very late, and the request was for the recording. We responded immediately, and we provided the transcript of witness C, even though we were not intending to rely on witness C's evidence for the purposes of questioning this witness. We still provided the transcript. Despite that, then the next thing that happened was that there was an undertaking that the statement would be provided to us by the 19th to 20th. That was the language, 19 to 20. We granted an indulgence to the witness and waited until the 20th. And on the 20th, there was no communication from the witnesses' attorneys as to why we still hadn't received the statement. And we had to make a further request. And this is particularly in light of the fact that there was nothing more, given that there was no information that was provided to the witness that required further work on the statement. It was just inexplicable, and no explanation until now, such that it was provided as to why it was so late. So I just want to clarify that. There was quite a lot of correspondence, and it was only on repeated pressing that we eventually received the signed statement on the Friday before the hearing. As far as the questioning yesterday that Ms. Mafisa says was unfair because it relied on information that had not been provided to the witness before the statement, that is factually incorrect. It's factually incorrect. I questioned the witness on an annexure to the WhatsApps. And the question was, why is it we are getting a response now on the issue we were engaging on when it wasn't in the statement? And the response is that that was not provided to the witness before the statement was due. And that's just incorrect. Those annexures, and Ms. Mafisa acknowledged it earlier when she said those annexures were provided on the 26th of November, annexures SEN1 to SEN7. That's what I was basing my questioning on. So it's just factually incorrect that there was any prejudice to the witness in my questioning. And if necessary, I will return to those questions today because the witness had those annexures in his possession well before 16 January.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes.
You wanted to
Yes, thank you. That was also my issue because my recollection is that yesterday's objection was based on the SEN annexures. But we've now heard from Ms. Mafisa that in fact they were provided electronically in November last year already. But my other issue, Ms. Mafisa, is reading page 18 of the general statement. You'll see that there's footnote 13 and footnote 14. What the general is talking about there is the WhatsApp exchanges between himself and Mr. Mohlahlana, leading to the meeting at the Pels on the 15th of April, 2025. So he did have those WhatsApps and he did read them in preparing his statement. Otherwise, he would not have referred to them and even have date stamps. I would understand if he said, I cannot deal with these WhatsApps because I have not received them, or the format in which I have received them is redacted, so I don't know what's in the WhatsApps. But looking at this statement, it creates the impression to me that he has seen the WhatsApps, he knows what is in the WhatsApps, and he can give evidence on that. I do not get the impression looking at footnote 13 and 14 that he does not know what is in those WhatsApps. I mean, he even gives date stamps and he says what they relate to, which means he must have seen them and he must know what they say.
And it's not just those. The statement as a whole is replete with references to the text exchanges between the two of them. But anyway, sorry, I interrupted you.
But the specific ones he objected to was page 39 and 40. And that was the WhatsApps of 13 and 14 April 2025. Now, the way he refers to them in the statement gives me the impression that he must have seen them, and he must have date stamps, and he must know that those are exchanges between him and Mr. Mohlahlana, and he must know what the discussion in those WhatsApps is. That's the impression I get looking at this footnote.
Sure. Thank you, Commissioner. May I please take you to the WhatsApp chats? I, unfortunately, now I'm not even working with the correct exhibit bundle. Thank you, Commissioner. I would like to take you to the WhatsApp chats, and I think it is, so it's the WhatsApp chats right above the The date 13 April 2025. The timestamp there is 16:32:07.
You're looking at page?
Sorry, my attorney will just get that for me, Chairperson. I don't have the page at the moment. 38. Thank you, page 38. So all of the WhatsApp chats on page 38, they were in actual fact redacted. So I do agree, I definitely can confirm that the annexures SCN1 to SCN7, we did have them. But what we were referring to actually was not even the messages related to those annexures SCN1 to SCN7, but we were referring to the messages above that. So those messages above the timestamp of 13 April 2025 were redacted. So when we received these WhatsApp chats on the 9th of October via the Rule 3 notice, those messages were redacted. We only received the unredacted messages on Sunday. So my argument is simply this. We were unable to address those redacted WhatsApp messages within the statement. That is only what I was trying to say to the Commission.
But it's the greetings, Ms. Mafisa. Good morning, Duna.
Chairperson, whether it's the greetings or not, I do think, whether it's the greetings or not, I think then perhaps maybe the chairpersons may be missing a greater point, which is the point that we are trying to make here is that we have been fighting to get evidence. That is the point that we are trying to make. I think it would be, we would truly be missing the essence of the point if we just simply say, but this message is inconsequential, this is consequential, this is inconsequential. We have to look at the greater process. We've already accepted responsibility that we were at fault in submitting the statement belatedly. We 100% accept that responsibility. But I do think that it's important that even if the Commission's attorneys are making mistakes, we must bring this to the attention of the Commissioners. Thank you.
Chair.
Commissioner Baloyi.
Before Commissioner Baloyi comes in, if I may.
All right.
Because it is important that we get the facts correct. And the WhatsApp messages were sent in October last year. What was redacted in those WhatsApp messages were the phone numbers. So at the top of each message, it has the actual number. And it has been the practice of the attorneys to redact that sort of private information, confidential information from documents that they send out. So it was only the phone numbers, 2 phone numbers, the phone number of General Sonona and the phone number of Mr. Mohlahlana. That is the only thing that was redacted from those documents. If there was a problem on the printing on the other side and the formatting went askew and therefore it blocked other messages or something, if that's the reason, if that's what happened, it's possible, we should have been informed. And we were never informed that that was a problem. But it's a problem that was in the printing on the other side, because from what we have, from what we've sent, the only thing that is redacted are the phone numbers, not the content of messages. The facts are very important.
Chairperson, I don't know if I can hand my page up as we received on the 9th of October. It is incorrect that it was merely the numbers that were redacted. I can hand this particular page up to the commissioners. We can also print it out as we received on the 9th of October, but I don't think I will take the argument further.
Even if that were true.
Based on what Ms. Hassim has just said, I don't think there's a dispute there, because Ms. Hassim says the content of the texts was not redacted, but that maybe something may have gone wrong electronically when your side printed the documents, but that the content of the texts. We saw what the General gave us yesterday. It was blank and the text was not there, so we accept that. So there's no dispute there. So the question is, if the attorneys sent something that actually had the content of the texts, what went wrong, where and how, that would be the issue. Yeah. But the point Ms. Hassim is making is once your side got those blank texts, perhaps an issue should have been raised by your side. That's her point, not mine.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me once we have resolved, and this is both to Ms. Hassim, Ms. Mafisa, and the General, that once we resolved what brought us here, which is annexures SEN 3, SEN 4, and 5, once we resolved that, in fact, these were already given last year, it is still a fair question, because I understand Ms. Mafisa to accept that's what happened. You got them last year. It is therefore still, it is a fair question to ask the General, why did you not deal with these in this statement? Because as you would recall, that's where the problem starts. It's you said. He shouldn't be asked that question, and we asked Ms. Hassim to pend that question while we resolve this. It's clear from your admission that in fact, that's a fair question to ask because you got these last year, these annexures. And it's not clear to me why we are having this discussion now and wasting so much time on it. In my experience and expectation, two things should have happened. One, on day one, you should have recorded fully what your concerns are about the bundle of documents that you've been given, and then we deal with it so that we run with evidence and we know how to manage the process if indeed there are documents presented that were not given to the witness in good time. That's one. Two, my experience is when a witness sees something for the first time on the stand, they are quite entitled to say, can I please have time to look at this document, consider it fully before I'm required to answer the question. And that in many cases may well entail pending that question to allow the witness outside of the pressure of a sitting to look at a document and come back and properly answer. That's how you mitigate where documents have been given the last minute. And I would expect that, for example, with a document you say the witness got this morning, that is, you know that is available to him. And if he says, I need time to look at it because I've not seen this document before, we deal with it. We're having a back and forth on day 3 of the witness's evidence, right in the middle of his evidence, about actually a document that he has seen, that he has had since October last year. I would urge that we continue, Chair, that we continue, and if any other documents come up, the historical matter is historical matter. We are here now. And if there are any other issues about documents that the General is seeing for the first time, it's for him to tell the Chairperson that as he's being asked about documents, and then the Chairperson will make rulings as we go ahead. Chair, that's my suggestion.
I actually made the same point. I said, with the video, once a complaint was made, we immediately said, you will be given time. So what Commissioner Baloyi says is something that we have actually done practically. We are not theorizing about it. So once a complaint was, we are seeing this video for the first time. This is going to prejudice us. We immediately said, Ms. Hassim, please avail the video to the other side. And we did not proceed about that video until the following day. So even with other documents, chats, or whatever else, if an issue was raised, we would have done the same. About the other documents, you say that you were quite annoyed and that you even voiced your annoyance to Ms. Hassim, but you never did so to us, and you have not said so. So there is no reason why we would not have done the same as we did with the video. So now it's very late, and for the first time we are being told of possible prejudice. And about documents, I'm being told have been, according to Ms. Hassim, have been with the witness for quite a while, or at least some of them. Just before we conclude, and my inclination is to do what Commissioner Baloyi has said, but before we conclude this, what would you like to see? What do you think would mitigate any prejudice, if there be?
Thank you, Chairperson. I do agree that we should continue. I do agree with that. Perhaps what I will also just say from our side, because we have taken up quite a lot of time from the Commission, perhaps maybe what I must say is we committed definitely that we had received the documentation on the 26th of November. You know, Commissioners, I'll probably just simply put it in this way. We do not know the evidence that the Commission is in possession of. So when we specifically mentioned that we wanted the evidence of witness X and the corresponding statements and the transcripts, to our minds, that was what we would need in order for us to put the statement together. But for us to belatedly receive other evidence in a piecemeal approach is, I think it's a little bit, now here comes the word unfair again, but I think it's a little bit unfair to be placed in a position where we tell the Commission, this is what we need, this is what we need, I think we've got everything. Our first letter on the 17th of October actually stated, all of the evidence that you have, please provide it to us. We've always said that. So we do not work at the Commission, we have no idea what is at the disposal of the Commission. So I think for me that is just the only thing that I will say or add to the submissions that I've already made, but I am perfectly okay, my attorney is also perfectly okay for us to proceed, Chairperson. I don't think we have to go on this back and forth anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mafisa. We will continue. If any issue arises, we will deal with it as and when. Yes, Ms. Hassim?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, may I proceed? Thank you. Okay. I'm going to begin then, since this is part of the discussion that we've started with this morning, with the question I was told to pend yesterday. And that is, General, why it is that you didn't in your statement, so let me just remind you what we were talking about. There were annexures to the statement, to the WhatsApp chats, including the docket of information pertaining to Mr. Nangi. And you said that you had not looked at that when you sent it to Mr. Mohlahlana. And then there were other annexures, SEN 3, 4, and 5, which you said, although he sent it to you, you didn't open it and look at it at the time. You only saw the full contents for the first time when it was provided to you by the Commission. And my question to you was, and that's why you didn't do anything with it. That's why you didn't raise a concern. You now became aware that there was confidential information, that you ought not have shared the Nangi affidavit, for example, but you didn't address that in your statement. You only started to provide that as a reason under questioning yesterday. And my question to you yesterday, and I repeat it today, is why? Why didn't you address it in your statement? In your statement, you addressed the Nangi thing. You said you gave it to him to warn him. But that's all you said. Why?
Why didn't I do what? The question, can you repeat it, please, commissioners?
Do you recall the evidence of yesterday
Yes,
regarding
commissioners.
these annexures?
Yes, commissioners.
And you recall you said this is unfair because you hadn't seen it before, the annexures.
Which annexures? The SEN 3, SEN 4?
Yes.
I said, commissioners, I've never opened these ones. I never read them. I happened to see the full contents when the information was provided by the commission.
Yes, and I said, why, at that point, did you not, when you answered us on it, you said if you had seen it, these are the things you would have done, you see that this was a problem, these contents of these documents. Do you recall those answers yesterday?
Correctly, I recall that I said I would have written an information note to my supervisors to be able to deal with the matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And my question to you was, why are you now saying that when you didn't give us that response in your statement? You didn't acknowledge in your statement that these are problematic annexures that you had.
I think when these annexures were opened, already my recollection, let me rephrase, commissioners, I believe that you are saying why I didn't include it in my statement. That is the question that I must respond to. Am I right?
My question is, the answer you gave us yesterday was not anywhere in your statement. You didn't address the content of these annexures in your statement.
Correct, I didn't address the content of these annexures in my statement.
And then you said that the reason you didn't was because you didn't have it at the time you were preparing your statement. But we now know that's not true, because you did have it. Isn't that so?
These annexures were received through the lawyers. I can't recall the actual date. But I think when we look at it, they were redacted. There were information that was hidden on it. And one couldn't make a context of that. If my memory serves me well, I'm talking under correction. But I agree that I didn't talk about it fully in my affidavit. And that is what it is. I didn't talk about fully in my affidavit. I just indicated that. And now, you see, when you receive these things, you get questions, commissioners, and the questions also, you have to respond to them. And then when you respond to them, in responding, some of the things when you respond, you recollect some of the information. It becomes back. And when it comes back, you end up saying those things that you are remembering that are the truth, nothing else but the truth. So eventually, when you write a statement, you will write about things that you remember. And as a human being, you will also be making some faults. That is why there are sometimes faults. We also make faults, and I believe you also make faults.
General, I think you are evading the question. You're not answering what I asked you at all. And in fact, now you're raising another problem. You're saying that those annexures were redacted. Is that what you're saying?
I said I talk under correction. I need to be corrected that certain information on those things when my attorneys that were redacted, I said I talk under correction. But I didn't include them in my affidavit. I agree.
My question is, why did you not? You had all of that information well before the due date of your written statement.
I don't have an answer to that because my affidavit, I wrote it. I said, people make mistakes. But if you force me to give you an answer, I don't have it. I made a mistake maybe because if you deemed it fit, I should have put it there. It's fine, but I made a mistake by not putting it. And it's not the only these messages that I didn't include in my affidavit. It's a lot of them in terms of these pages 38 until to 60, even others before that. So, commissioners, my affidavit, when I deal with it, when I deposit my affidavit, I was looking also at the subpoena. I wrote my affidavit in line with the subpoena, and then whatever information I might have omitted by mistake, it was not my intention to omit it. If I have recalled or recollected that I must include it, it should have been included, but I'm also a human being. I think we need to also bear in mind that I am not a perfect human being, unless I'm told there is somebody perfect. But me, I am not. I am subjected to make mistakes that are being made by human beings. I have already responded to these questions, Commissioners.
Not to my satisfaction. And what I wish to say to you, and what I put to you, is that you're not being completely open and truthful with the Commission, and that the reason you gave a different answer yesterday was not because you were not aware of the content of those annexes, because you were aware of it, as we know, but because you, under questioning, realized that what you had done was wrong and that you now had to take responsibility and answer for it. It was only upon the questioning and the probing that you were forced to answer. That's what I put to you.
Commissioners, with my responses and what I'm here to deliver or to testify upon, it doesn't matter if the advocate is not happy with my response, but I'm telling the truth to the best of my recollection here. I'm not trying to evade anything. I'm telling the truth to the best of my recollection.
And the Nangi affidavit was something that you were asked about specifically in the subpoena, isn't that so?
I believe so. I want to check where is my subpoena here. I'm trying to search for my subpoena, Commissioners. I don't know where I put it, so that I can just have a look and respond to the advocate.
Are you referring to the Regulation 10.6 notice, which sort of indicated what you were required to address? Or?
Correct, Commissioners. Yeah, I'm looking for it. I don't know where's my files, some of my files here, the actual subpoena in order to respond, sorry, because the advocate is saying in that document, I was required to talk about the Nangi issue.
Yes, so, Chair, we're trying to find whether it's in the record in order to assist the witness. But I can read out the paragraph of the notice that's relevant. And the question in this, in relation to this Nangi affidavit was the following. What was the witness's purpose in sending a WhatsApp message to Mr. Mohlahlana on 10 March 2025 at 21:03, attaching the complainant affidavit of Mr. Nangi? And then we attached it, and other contents of the docket in CAS number, and then we put in the CAS number. So that was the question.
I think I've highlighted the purpose, Commissioners, yesterday.
Okay.
For the purpose of securing time, I did highlight it yesterday. If maybe the advocate was making note, the purpose I've highlighted it. I was asked several questions, and vigorously so yesterday, regarding the purpose. And I think I have responded yesterday, Commissioners. And I still remain with that.
You see, the problem with this is that you suggested that you didn't really know the details. You didn't know that where Mr. Nangi lived. You didn't know the details of the case. But once you were aware that this very serious alleged criminal was released, you felt you needed to warn Mr. Mohlahlana. But the reality is that you did know about the details of the case because you had received a complaint in February last year by the DPP in KZN regarding your oversight of the case and deficiencies in your management of the investigation of that case. Isn't that so?
Commissioners, the issue, I've never received a complaint from the DPP in February 2025. I've never. And I want the commissioners to bear with me because I'm not going to get into details. I'm going to give just a straightforward answer and stop it there, and I'll give a reason to that. I'm going to plead with the commissioners. There was a complaint that was sent to the NDPP, by the NDPP, to the national head of the directorate. There was a case that was investigated in KwaZulu-Natal of kidnapping, extortion, and some other charges there, where these persons, Nangi and other persons, were arrested. The investigators at the ground level did their investigation, and in a process, certain things happen that I don't want to get into details. Eventually, the matter was set for bail application in January. The NPA withdrew the case, they gave reasons there. After that, it's then that there was a complaint by the NDPP to the national head. Processes were followed and everything. Commissioner, there is a DC that is currently on trial. I want to appeal to you and also say, with this saying and understanding that it's sub judice for me to come and talk about these things here of that nature. That complaint, it went through the national office, it went through its processes, and there is a DC and there is a hearing that is in progress. The last time I appeared here on the 26th, from here I attended a DC. It is continuing. So I appeal to you not to respond to these questions that are related to this.
And the disciplinary process against whom?
Myself and 4 others.
And is it a disciplinary so you say there was a complaint? And I'm not asking you to discuss the detail of it. I respect that if it's a pending matter, you won't discuss it. But I think we just want to try and understand your evidence about this, what it is that you're saying to us. So you say there was a complaint against you and others relating to the Nangi matter. Is that what you're telling us?
In that complaint.
No, let's take it step by step. You can explain.
I want to clarify something before I answer. In the complaint, it talked about investigators, not necessarily my name.
Yes.
There was a complaint.
So there's a complaint against investigators who report to you relating to the Nangi matter.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes, Commissioner.
You were then subjected, those investigators and you, that's what I want to understand, are then being subjected to a disciplinary process relating to that Nangi matter.
Correct.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hassan.
Thank you, Commissioner. I don't propose to go into the merits and the details of the charges against General Senona. The charges are there for the record, and they are contained at Exhibit 61, page 614, the charges. It's just the fact of the charges that were relevant, and I accept that. Pardon me?
Page, Commissioners? 614.
I accept that we should, it's not even relevant, in fact, to the mandate of this commission for us to discuss the merits of the DC. But the important point is that, General, that you had been asked to respond in some detail
Come again, Commissioners. What is the question?
You had been asked to respond in some detail to the concerns that had been raised by the DPP in KZN. And I'll just take you to page 616, Exhibit 62.
Commissioners, can I say something?
Can I finish my question?
Before you ask a question, because I want to tell the Commissioners something about this document that you're referring to. Commissioners, this document, we received it when we arrived here on the 27th. And for further to that, this document is part and parcel of the bundle of documents in my disciplinary hearing. I therefore request that I must not be asked questions about this because there is a hearing that is ongoing here. That is my plea.
Chair, I propose that I be permitted to ask my question. The question has got nothing to do with the disciplinary. It's merely about the fact of this document and what it's about. We will not be going into the details of the contents.
Let's just hear the question, General, and then we'll see whether you still object.
But Commissioners,
even
this
based,
is about...
yes. Let's just hear the question, just the question, General, and then, we can take it from there, or we will take it from there.
And General and Chair, by the way, this document is the witness's own document. It's a document that he compiled. It's not.
So it was supplied by him to the Commission?
No, I mean it's a document that he authored.
Okay.
It's an information note. And
616, you said.
616, yes, Commissioner Khumalo. So the relevance of this is only the following, that you'll see at the end of the document it's dated 20 February 2025. And it's an information note prepared by General Sonona in response to concerns that were raised by the DPP in KZN regarding the management of this Nangi case. I'll say no more about that. But the General was then required to look into it and provide a response, and he did so on the 20th of February 2025. Correct?
What is the question, Commissioners?
That you provided this information note on 20 February 2025.
It is the document I provided, but
Yes.
I didn't want to get into it.
Yes, and then on 10 March 2025 is when you send Mr. Mohlahlana the attachment, the 220 pages of confidential information pertaining to Mr. Nangi. And what I want to suggest to you, General, is that your response that you were merely forwarding on information as a warning to him is not correct. That in fact you and Mr. Mohlahlana were in conversation about Mr. Nangi and that document that you sent him in the context of the withdrawal of that complaint, trying to persuade him to withdraw the complaint against Mr. General Mkhunazi. So that's what I'm putting to you, that it wasn't merely for his information and warning, but that in fact it was part of an ongoing engagement between you and Mr. Mohlahlana.
Thank you, Commissioners. First thing first, the document is not a confidential document. As I've indicated yesterday, I read the affidavit and then I saw the addresses, I sent it. I still stand by my response yesterday. Commissioners, General Sonona is not a suspect on the case that was opened by Mr. Nangi. General Sonona is not a suspect. that one, maybe even if they go and ask Mr. Nangi or read all the affidavits there, General Senona is not listed as a suspect. I don't have a reason to go and ask another person to tell another person to withdraw a docket where I'm not even a suspect. Even if I was listed as a suspect, I wouldn't have informed or persuaded another person to withdraw a case docket. I'll go to court and defend myself and my innocence in court. Like I came here, I went to my legal team because I know I'm called a witness, but the people who came here, they implicated me in some sort of, when my understanding, I am a respondent because this is a commission. I'm called a witness, but I am a respondent to the allegations against me. So General Senona was never, ever listed as a suspect. So I don't see any reason. The inference that is drawn by the advocate, it is totally incorrect. Thank you, Commissioners.
I've had my response. I can move on from this. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, General. Let's go back to just want to get the date where we were. We had dealt with 13 April. That was page 39 of the WhatsApp chats. Can you turn to page 40 of the WhatsApp chats? And can you read the first message that Mr. Mohlahlana sent to you on the 14th of April?
Maybe before you do that, Ms. Hassim, I know you've asked us to give you as much freedom to run your line of questions without interruption, but I think it might be more efficient and neater if I ask my question now. If you would just remind me that confidential SEN 345, where do we find the one that relates to the president? I just want to ask a question. I think it was in the 300 something.
I think it's 291.
I'm told it's
291.
291. General, this is a document that yesterday was discussed, or you were asked a question about. And now that we have resolved finally that you did get this SEN4 last year, this attachment to that WhatsApp message with Mr. Mohlahlana. Maybe let me then ask my question in the light, in fact, it is in the light of what you had said yesterday. In your evidence yesterday, you said you did not open this SEN 3, the 291, page 291 document. You said you had not opened that WhatsApp attachment when it came from Mr. Mohlahlana.
SEN4.
I'm told it's SEN4. Yes. You said yesterday that you did not open it when it was given to you and you never opened it. And I'm not probing that any further. I think we had that discussion yesterday. But we now know from this morning exchange between the lawyers that in fact you were given this annexure last year already. So you had it and you would have seen what it is. And my question on the back of what you said yesterday is, after you saw this, after it was now sent to you by the evidence leaders and you see what it is, did you prepare an information note in the way that you said you would have? You remember your evidence yesterday was, had you opened the attachment, you would have, because you see on the face of it that this is not information that should be exchanged or that should be in the hands of a private person. And if you had seen it, you would have done. But now we know you saw it because it was given to you last year. Did you do anything about it?
Commissioner, I didn't prepare an information note. Reason being, I was and I still am under the impression that since it was presented before the commission and the team that were downloaded and got this information have submitted a report to my principals, and I believe they are continuing with investigations. I didn't want to write another thing because I wanted to leave the commission and its investigators to do their job independently. So,
Thank you, General.
Thank you, Commissioner Puroy. So, page 40. You there? Can you just read the message that Mr. Mohlahlana sends to you on the 14th of April?
oh, Nduna, don't forget to ask our brother about that lady who's stirring problems.
And who's that lady who's stirring problems?
I did in my affidavit, commissioners, that allow me to utilize the word I assume that it may have been concerning the tender, Medicare tender, and his issues with Lieutenant General Kua. I assume it might be Lieutenant General Kua. Unfortunately, I do not have the best recollection regarding this message, but that is my assumption. However, I never assisted Mr. Mohlahlana in the payment of his invoices or have ever shown questionable concern over his tender or payments.
That doesn't square up with these texts. We've already showed how you provided assistance on 15 April. We've already discussed, and we don't need to go there again, your response on 13 May, advising and more than advising, urging him to take them on and to sue the SAPS in relation to his contract. Now I'm taking you to this particular text where he says, please don't forget to ask our brother about that lady who's stirring problems. Your response to him is not, what are you talking about? Your response to him is a thumbs up. You acquiesce. It suggests agreement that you will follow up. Isn't that so?
These emojis, commissioners, each and every individual explain them differently. I think there are experts who will be able to assist us with the interpretation of emojis, but I will say noted. My understanding of this emoji is noted.
It's noted.
Yes.
So you knew what he was talking about, and you acknowledged it.
Remember,
You didn't say, for example, what are you talking about?
That's why I assumed, not knew, I assumed that the lady that is talking about it can be Lieutenant General Kua.
Okay. And the reason you assumed that it was someone with that specific name is because you had already discussed it with him.
Remember, when he asked me to go with him to meet the general, he was talking about the issue of the purchase orders.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the purchase orders, when I thought, before I can deposit my affidavit, and even that time, I realized that these issues of the purchase orders is ahead of his function. So there's no way that the provincial office will deal with these purchase orders.
And so, what's that got to do with? I'm not sure what you're saying. You're saying that you assumed that this lady was General Nkua.
Correct.
Because you had discussed it with him, because you were preparing for the meeting on 15 April.
At the 15th meeting of April, he asked me to accompany him, of which I agreed. I assumed that the lady might be Lieutenant General Nkua. And
yes, you're repeating yourself. Please answer this. I'm saying, how did you know it would be General Nkua if you hadn't discussed the issue of his contract with him prior to this?
remember, prior to this, regarding the contract, he told me he was having problems in payments, as I indicated before. And then the payment, when you look at the contract, it was a common cause to me when we were talking about the issue of the payment in terms of the contract, that this contract is related to Medicare, where police officials, when they are sick, they go to the sick base and the students. And then the only person who is dealing with this, it is the Divisional Commissioner, HR, and the Divisional Commissioner is Lieutenant General Nkua. But that is why I assumed, but he never told me the lady who's having problem who she is, but I assumed, because I've got knowledge that this type of functions of this nature, they fall within that space.
But what the language he uses is important. He said, that lady, which means it suggests that you've spoken about it before. That lady, you know who that lady is, who's stirring problems. And moreover, he doesn't say stirring problems on my contract. He just says stirring problems.
I gave you my answer as an assumption of which I don't like to do it, commissioners. I've indicated several times that I came here to tell the truth, nothing is the truth. Here I put it in my statement, and then I will stick to my statement. That is what I had assumed.
And who's our brother?
Yeah, this one is giving me a problem. I'm trying to establish. Even before I deposit my statement, I tried to look. By the way, our brother. You understand?
You don't remember who he's referring to? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you see, most he will talk about our brother, and then he doesn't put names. That is why I'm having a problem in the recollection of these names.
But again, the use of that language, don't forget. Don't forget means remember what we spoke about. Don't forget. So you had spoken about this before, and you may not remember now, maybe you do and you don't want to say who our brother is. But the fact that he refers to our brother suggests that he knew that you will know who he's talking about. Isn't that so?
I don't think so. He might have known, or he might have said, don't forget to ask our brother. I don't know who must I ask about the lady who's stirring problems. Hence, I'm saying, when he talked about this, because we were talking earlier about his challenges of not getting payment, and then he wanted me to accompany him to a meeting, so that was arranged by the former minister. So that is why I have assumed. So I think I've responded to the best of my recollection, commissioners, in relation to this question.
Okay. General, you assumed, let's proceed on the basis that you got this message and you assumed that he must be referring to General Nkua. Who did you assume the brother was that he's referring to in this? Because you must have completed that picture. You assumed it's Nkua, General Nkua that he's referring to. You must then have also made an assumption about the brother that you're being asked to speak to.
You are correct, Commissioner. I'm trying to assume as well, but it doesn't ring a bell to my recollection, Commissioners.
No, General. This WhatsApp message is on the 14th of April. You're going to meet, and you know at that point, you're going to meet General Mkwanazi on the 15th. Today, it's less than a year since this WhatsApp message was sent to you. You got these documents last year already, so you've had ample opportunity. If you had forgotten, you've had ample opportunity to reflect on these communications, one, but two, you did make an assumption, you tell us. You say, I made an assumption that he's referring to General Nkua. You could not have made that assumption in a vacuum. You made that assumption because there was a context to it. Otherwise, I could easily ask you, why did you not assume he's referring to Ms. Patricia Mashale, for example? So there's a reason you assumed it's General Nkua that he's referring to. It has to be so. And I'm saying you must then have assumed something about the brother that he's referring to. You may have been wrong in your assumption, but you should be able to answer the question, who is the brother you assumed he's referring to?
I'm trying to do my recollection, commissioners, as we are here, and I did before. It is an unfortunate situation. This type of things, sometimes it is important to engage with the person who sent it. Because at this stage, I am trying to recollect and talk about what Mr. Mohlahlana has sent to me. Then it is unfortunate, even when I received this document, still to date, I've never had contact with him directly or indirectly. But I'm trying my level best to try and think who the brother, who was he referring to? I'm trying to think to assist the commission.
General, can I say something? At this moment, you are not assisting the commission, and you're leaving me, I'm speaking for myself, you're leaving me with the impression that you are evasive, you choose not to answer questions that you fear might get you into trouble. Because there is no way somebody can say to you, don't forget. It's a reminder, which means you must have discussed this in the past. And when he reminds you, you don't say, what are you talking about? I'm confused. You give him a thumbs up as if to say, yes, I will not forget. So when you say you assume you can't remember, it gives me the impression that you either don't want to tell us or you are deliberately being evasive. This is not 15 years ago, as Advocate Commissioner Baloyi says. This is a few months ago, in the lead up to an important meeting with General Mkhwanazi.
Commissioners, I am not evasive. The issue that I'm afraid I'll be in trouble, I am already in trouble. I indicated before your good self here, commissioners, that with these documents of the commission, I am already being in trouble. So I can't fear to disclose what I recall and being afraid that there will be trouble. I am already in trouble. So at the end of the day, commissioners, I see from time to time, if I can't recall something, I'm told I'm evasive, I'm told I'm lying, and I don't want to respond to these words that I'm told about, but I'm not a person who will come here and mislead the commission. If I was lying, commissioners, the chairperson of the commissioner, when I arrived here, asked me one question. Are you affirming or are you taking an oath? I said I'm taking an oath because I don't want to lie. Please.
And General, to be fair to you, the reason I'm mentioning this to you is that I don't want to put things in a report that I did not give you the opportunity to respond to. The impression you are making to me, I must let you know about it and give you the opportunity to, respond to that. Because it would be unfair if I don't give you the opportunity and then you see in a report that you formed an impression of that nature to me. So that was the reason I was mentioning it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
General, can I, still on this, The brother that he's referring to, is it possible that he was referring to General Mkhwanazi?
It is not.
Why do you say it's not? Why are you so sure about that, if you have no recollection?
I don't think he will refer General Mkhwanazi as a brother. They don't, they, according to me, they never knew each other. They never met before, according to me. You won't call him a brother.
Yes. Well, let me tell you why. Let me put to you why I think he was referring to General Mkhwanazi, and you knew that's what he's referring to. The WhatsApp message of General Mkhwanazi, Ms. Hassim, if you would remind me what page it is.
It's the annexures bundle, file 1, annexures to the witness statement. And it's annexure S4.
Thank you. Thank you.
Page 89.
Yes, thank you. The reason I'm putting to you, and I'm doing this to try to get us through this very quickly, because I think we are getting nowhere with your responses, your repeated on cue responses that I don't remember. In this WhatsApp message, General Mkhwanazi records, you have been talking to him. The opening paragraph is, you made arrangements that I meet this guy because, and then he carries on. I asked you, where do you know how you spoke to him about Nangi? So you are talking on, according to General Mkhwanazi's WhatsApp message, you had a discussion with him, right? According to him, you had a discussion with him and requested that he meets with Mr. Matala. That's what General Mkhwanazi says. Then this WhatsApp message where Mr. Matala says to you, remember to speak to our brother, which comes a day before the meeting with General Mkhwanazi, and you assume he's referring to General Nkua, who incidentally is the person they're going to be discussing in the meeting the following day. You make that assumption, it is General Nkua he's referring to. And then you are blank to us about the brother that he's referring to, that you are supposed to speak to. Now, when I put the thread, when I thread General Mkhwanazi's message that you asked him to meet with this gentleman, it says you are talking to General Mkhwanazi. That's what General Mkhwanazi tells us in that WhatsApp message. You are talking to General Mkhwanazi about this meeting. Mr. Matala says to you, speak about the lady who's causing trouble. You say you assume it's General Nkua. I want to put it higher than that and say, you know he's referring to General Nkua. It's not an assumption. And then the brother there, you know who that brother is. Otherwise, you would have not noted, you would not have simply noted this. You would have said, who is the brother you're talking about? If you didn't know, you knew. And the sequence of messages, including General Mkhwanazi, suggests that Mr. Matala was asking you to speak, when you speak to General Mkhwanazi, speak to him about, mention General Nkua as well, that in fact they discussed the following day. So you know that's the sequence that happened. When you say, I don't remember, I made assumptions, it cannot be. And I think in nearly similar vein to to Commissioner Khumalo here, I think I would like you to take this commission much more seriously and give us proper answers. You are not assisting the commission. You say, I took the oath, I said I was going to tell the truth, and I'm trying my best to assist. You must accept sitting there that when you say, I don't remember, it's of no assistance to the commission at all. It isn't of any assistance. And maybe it's worth mentioning that you're actually here under subpoena. You didn't volunteer to come and assist us. You were subpoenaed to be here, and you're sitting there behaving, and I say this with utmost respect. You're sitting there behaving like someone who's just discharging the obligation of coming here under subpoena. You're not going to tell us anything. You do know what this was about. You simply choose not to tell us what you know this WhatsApp message was about. You can comment if you want, but that is my view as well. I share Commissioner Kumla's view that you're not being of assistance to us. And it's a deliberate decision that you have made.
No comment, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Chair, it's 7 minutes past 11. I'm not sure what you would like to do.
Please continue. Let's adjourn at 1:30.
At 11:30. Thank you. On this theme that we've been dealing with of the assistance you provide to Mr. Mohlahlana, after this exchange where he asks you, he reminds you, don't forget, ask that lady, you say, thumbs up. Then comes the meeting of 15 April, we know that. If you go to page 42, you'll see the message from Mr. Mohlahlana to you. He says, this number will call you to make meeting arrangements, and then he gives you an 066 number. Who was that who called you to make arrangements?
Thank you, Commissioners. This number was sent to me by Mr. Mohlahlana in order for me to be able to meet him where he was. When I called this number, the person who was talking on this number, it was Mr. Mohlahlana.
So he called you from this number, which wasn't his usual number.
He sent me this number.
Yes.
And then, yes, this is not, it was
It's not his usual number.
Yeah.
This number called you, and he was the person on the other end of the line talking to you. Okay. Let's move on. You meet on 15 April. On 15 April, you learn more information about the alleged criminality, as we heard yesterday, because now you heard about the investigation of the alleged attempted murder. Do you remember?
I recall.
You recall? Okay, so we keep going. So what happens after this is interesting, because there are quite a number of phone calls between you and Mr. Mohlahlana. And I'll just show it to you so that you see what I'm talking about. This is after 15 April. So on 16 April, if you start on page 43, on 16 April, there's a phone call from Mr. Mohlahlana to you. Do you see that?
I see it.
On 17 April, you send him more of, I don't even know what you call these things. I mean, you might call them emojis, but there's some things. It's fine. Pictures. Then on 17 April, you'll see Mr. Mohlahlana calls you again in the morning, at 8 in the morning. Do you see that?
Yes.
8:30, yes. And then on 17 April, same day, 8:27, you call Mr. Mohlahlana.
Yes.
And then you call him again. Probably you didn't get him, because the next phone call is 8:29, a couple of minutes later. Do you see that?
Yes.
And then he sends you a pin. Is that the location where you were to meet?
On the 17th of April,
yes, he sends you a
with
pin.
these calls and this pin, no, we always met at Mainland Main, where we were not supposed to meet.
So why did he send you this location pin?
I'm going to be in trouble with the commissioners. I don't know why he sent it to me.
I'm saying he sent it to you because he was telling you where to meet.
No, our meeting place is the Mainland Main, next to his business office. It's Mainland Main Hotel. We never met elsewhere other than there.
But you can't explain why he sends you a location pin.
Maybe he will have to come and talk about it, commissioners. Mina, I don't know why he sent me this thing.
Okay, so this is something you just don't recall.
Yes.
And then you continue 17 April, you make a call to him at 12, I think that's 19 minutes past 12 in the afternoon. You see that?
Yes.
He sends you a message, but he deletes it.
Yes.
Do you know what that message was?
No.
Do you know why he would have deleted it?
I don't know.
You send him a heart. That's followed immediately with a heart. And then,
heart and amen.
Yes. What did you mean by that?
A heart and amen.
Why did you send him this picture?
The heart and amen.
Yes, in response to him.
I was not responding to his message that is deleted. I was just talking to him.
I see. Okay.
Yes, commissioners.
And then you called him at 6:35, the same day that you sent him the picture.
Yes.
And then he calls you again that evening at 6:48.
Correct.
And then you call him again, same evening, 8:52.
I see
Yes?
that, commissioners.
And then 2 days later, he calls you, 19 April. See that?
Yes, commissioners.
And you call him 19 April at 10:26.
I see that.
And then on the 21st of April, he calls you again. Do you see that?
Yes, commissioners.
He called you, right?
Yes.
And then you called him on the 22nd of April.
Correct.
At about quarter to 6 in the evening.
Correct.
And he returned your call, it seems, the same evening. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then on the 23rd of April, you send him another message, and then he calls you on the 23rd of April.
Correct.
So lots of conversations happen after the meeting of the 15th of April. What was all those conversations about?
As far as my recollection, in some of our conversation, he was happy that I accompanied him to the meeting. And over and above that, he was adamant that the order forms will come. And then I was saying, I accompanied you to the meeting. I'm also believe that your meeting has served you right. And other communications is a general stuff that are personal between me and him. We did talk about issues of how happy he was and how appreciative he was for me accompanying him to meet the general.
He was very appreciative in all of those phone conversations. You seem to now recall all of these conversations. You say mostly it was about personal stuff, and some of it was about the contract.
The meeting, not the contract.
You had no discussions about the contract?
The contract?
Yes, about
Which
the
one?
purchase order. There's one contract only that was the subject of this discussion on the 15th of April. And do you know what it is?
If they had discussions, and then I've indicated yesterday, commissioners, even in my statement, what I can recall, what was discussed there. And then I also strongly believe if that video clip is going to be played there, the recordings, those things will be there. And also, he did appreciate, as I'm saying, me accompanying him there. And then other stuff is that, because I'm not going to do this, commissioners, to try and remember things that I cannot remember. The ones that are coming, I'm remembering. I am going to say it. And then I see where the advocate is going to say, you remember other things, you don't want to remember other things. But I'm honest here to tell what I remember. What I can't, if I don't have an answer, I don't have it, Commissioner. So that is my response to you.
But you do agree that you had very many communications after 15 April?
I agree as it is stipulated here.
Yes. And they were very warm and friendly. Isn't that so?
Correct, I am a woman-friendly person. It is in my DNA. That's me.
You're very warm and friendly, even with people you know to be suspected criminals.
You know, commissioners, I'm pushed here to say there is this narrative of that I didn't want to say, but it seems I'm compelled to say it. You know, allegation sometimes is something. It is alleged. People sometimes will remain innocent until proven guilty. So over and over I'm told I'm conversing with an alleged criminal and so forth and so forth. But I didn't want to go there, but I'm pushed to say this. But I am a woman-friendly person. I was talking to him.
And in other words, you see, what you're saying now is contradicting what you said before, which is you were very concerned. And you were wary of him, and you were cautious, and you didn't trust his innocence, and you were pulling away from him, and you were going to cut off ties. This contradicts all of that, what you said yesterday, isn't that so?
Commissioners, what I've just said doesn't delete what I've said, that I was moving away gradually. My personality, I know I was told why you didn't cut it off like that. My personality, we differ with personalities. It doesn't mean when I move away gradually, I mustn't talk to people. I was talking to him, but moving away gradually, that was happening. I indicated that yesterday before the commissioners. The chairperson of the commissioners asked me vigorously about that and told me. Then I even said, I have learned today that somewhere, somehow, this is how one must deal with issues.
And your response that people are innocent until proven guilty, how do you explain that in your position as a senior police officer? How do you explain that answer? Let me finish. That you know that you are engaging with somebody against whom there are very serious allegations.
Ms. Hassim, contexts do, of course, differ, but I think this point has been made, hammered, and so on.
Perhaps I'll just say this, that, General, I'll just put it to you then, that your response, that you're just engaging with somebody that in your position, because this is not just about, gradually withdrawing. I'm saying something more. I'm saying that you're not an ordinary citizen. I'm saying that you are a senior police officer and that there's a greater duty on you to be circumspect in who you engage with. You can comment.
Commissioners, I hear I'm being told about my position. I'm going to say this. In terms of my position, if they gave me a warrant of arrest and say, go arrest Mr. Mohlahlana, I'll gladly do it without any difficulty. That is my response, Commissioners.
So that took us to the 23rd of April, all of those many phone calls. And then on the 24th of April, you send Mr. Mohlahlana a screenshot of, is this your phone? Is this a photograph of your phone or a screenshot?
Yes.
Of your phone? And it's a screenshot of you communicating with General Khumalo.
Correct, Commissioners.
And the content of it is you saying, good morning, General. He responds, morning, General. You say, can I call? And then nothing more.
Correct, Commissioners.
So what was the purpose of sending this to Mr. Mohlahlana?
I have indicated on Tuesday, Commissioners, that this message was sent by default. And then 15 minutes thereafter, I called him and then I told him I sent that message by you by mistake. It is not intended to you or for you. And then I even indicated that there was a third person that I was going to introduce to General Kumano regarding issues that are related to his division. And I went and hand over that individual, third person, and I said if General Kumalo can be called here, he will attest to what I'm saying. Because the person, the situation, the way it was, it was a pressing issue so that I can go and hand over this third person. And those things are intelligence things that are very, very classified. They normally even don't talk about them. The issues, the things that this third person was going to deliver there, as well as talking to General Kumano.
Just for clarity, General, I'm not sure I follow. So who do you say you meant to send this screenshot to? Very briefly, please.
Is a source, is a third party, is a source who was having information that is related to Division Crime Intelligence that I handed to General Kumalo at their offices there, here in Pretoria.
Why would that source have wanted to see just good morning, General, can I call?
It's me who was doing this, Commissioner.
I'm saying if you meant to send this to a source, what interest would that source have had to this conversation? In this conversation.
He was pushing that when am I seeing the general, the source. And I did deliver the source.
Could it be that our brother from the previous text was referring to General Kumalo?
I said I don't remember. This one was sent by mistake. As you can see that here I went to deliver a source.
No, I can't see that from this. And if it was sent by mistake, why didn't you just delete it?
I called him, commissioners, and informed him this was a mistake.
Is it not that you called him in order to discuss your intended meeting with General Kumalo?
Commissioners, already the meeting with General who?
With General Dumisani Kumalo.
My intended meeting with General Kumalo,
Yes.
telling who?
Mr. Mohlahlana.
No, it's got nothing to do with my meeting with General Kumalo.
So when you met with General Kumalo, because I think you did already say that you did have a meeting with him, did you discuss the problem of Mr. Mohlahlana's problems with his contract? Did you ask for assistance?
No, I didn't ask for assistance.
Did you raise the contract at all?
I was talking to General Kumalo and introducing the source, that the source is talking about 1, 2, 3, 4. And then from there, I handed over the source, I left the source with him, then I drove away.
So you are adamant that you never had a conversation with General Kumalo about Mr. Mohlahlana's contract?
No.
Okay.
General, this message on its face, it communicates nothing of significance to a third party unless you are telling that third party, whether it's Mr. Mohlahlana or somebody else, unless you're telling that third party that, look, I am talking to General Kumalo, right? I think your evidence now is that the third party you were sending this to was pressing you and you needed to show them that you are talking to General Kumalo. I think that's what you said.
I'm trying to set this, talking to General Kumalo, commissioners, to secure an appointment to take this person there in Erasmus Kloof.
Try and listen. I'm making a different point to you. Your evidence now is that you are going to introduce this source, I think you call them a source, to General Kumalo. That's what you were trying to arrange here. Okay. So that's all that this message does, is to alert somebody that I am talking to General Khumalo. That's all. And that you say that's all you were doing with it. And of course, it contains nothing other than you are in communication with General Khumalo. Now, if you sent this to Mr. Matlala by mistake, why was it necessary to call him and tell him it's by mistake? It has nothing to do with him, according to you. It contains no information. All it says is, good morning, General. Morning, General, can I call? If it has nothing to do with Mr. Matlala, it means absolutely nothing to him. Why did you consider it necessary to call him, as you tell us, to explain I sent it to you by mistake?
Because it was not intended for him, Commissioners.
That's what you're telling us. It wasn't intended for him. And if I accept, for purpose of our discussion, that it wasn't intended for him, why was it necessary to call him and tell him that? Because he knows it has nothing to do with him. Why didn't you just let it be? I mean, in your many communications with him, he sends you things, you don't ask him, what is this about? You just let it be. Even important stuff, documents, you don't check with him, why are you sending me this? He says, speak to our brother about the lady. You don't ask him, what brother are you talking about? So your pattern on your evidence, your pattern of behavior in your exchanges with Mr. Matlala is if stuff means nothing, you just don't means nothing to you, you just let it be. So I'm asking you the same, that, well, now you've sent this to Mr. Matlala, why did you not just let it be? Why did you think it was important to call him and tell him, oh, I sent it by mistake? If we accept that's what you did, that's what your call was about.
I'm saying, Commissioners, I told him that this was sent by mistake. It was not intended to him because me, General Khumalo, we were supposed to meet to come and present this source, Commissioner.
Okay.
I don't have any other better answer than the one I'm
All right.
giving to the
Okay,
Commissioner.
I accept that's your best answer.
It's 11:29.
Yeah, I don't think you should start another point. It's 29 minutes past. Let's adjourn and come back at
Thank you,
quarter
Chair.
to 12.
On the top stories, death toll in the Isipingo crash rises to 11, and General Sinona continues with testimony in the Madlanga Commission. For SFM News, I'm Ondelambana, and a very good morning. The death toll in the crash involving a truck and a taxi on the R102 near Loftus Park at Isipingo, south of Durban, has risen
Eskom customers, change is here. Eskom is upgrading old electricity meters with modern smart meters, giving you clarity, control, and confidence. With your new meter, you'll be able to see your usage in real time, giving you the power to manage your electricity with ease. Smart meters are accurate and help Eskom respond faster to issues. Please allow our authorized installers access to install your new meter. For more information, visit our website, Eskom Redefining for a Better Future.
Sanibonani Dumelang Absheni Lochani Mzansi igama lam nguzanele untomdodwa izintluzelza, but you can simply call me Uzanele Mthombeni. I am your new host khona yi Ekaslami, the TV show that profiles some of your absolute faves celebrities. I'm talking wena actor, musician, bona politician, benekant zonke bonke zikhona, and we take them to Ekasi and find out who exactly they were before all the glitz, glam, lights, cameras and action. Oh, bye Uzi.
Uzi umotokolayo kula kamnandi.
Ekaslami, Tuesday at 6 on SABC 1. Mzansi for sure.
So you thought you were building a business in this economy, but day by day, somehow it grew. You kept going when the freezer didn't freeze, the bucket didn't budge, and the bank balance barely blinked. So you thought you were building a business. You weren't. It was building you. Because this isn't just what you do anymore, it's who you are, and you don't trust just anybody to protect it. Chat to your broker about Old Mutual Insure Business Insurance. Protect what built you. Old Mutual Insure Limited is a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
All week long, we're saying yes to a first for Africa. For the first time in its 60-year history, the Montreux Jazz Festival is coming to African soil, and it's happening in Franschhoek. Say yes to the first artist reveal on the Acres stage, featuring Salif Keita, Mandisi Tjantjis, Bilimunama's guitar convergence, and the Kesivan I'm a Big Band experience. And also, say yes to the Jazz Festival, Jazz Village rather, with intimate performances by Madala Kunene and others. This is just the beginning. Many more acts to come. Tickets for the ARCs are now on sale at ticketmaster.co.za. Montreux Jazz Festival Franschhoek, presented by Nedbank. Say yes.
Hey, want to check your TV license balance conveniently? Look no further. Our SMS service allows you to do just that. By sending a message containing your ID or TV license number to 44210, you can quickly access your balance without needing multiple inquiries or waiting on hold. Plus, standard SMS rates apply. Take advantage of this efficient method to stay informed and streamline your payment process today. T's and C's apply.
The Talking Point with Cathy Mohlahlana. Weekdays, 9 a.m. till midday.
Yeah, we continue the conversation on the Talking Point. Thanks to all those of you that are sending WhatsApp voice notes and messages. It feels like we're not only watching the commission together, but we're having an ongoing conversation. Even though we don't respond on WhatsApp to your messages, as we read them, it's helping to feed into the conversation that we are having in studio as well. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to bring you more of the voice notes that you're sending through and just your responses to Major General Sinona and his third day in the witness box, and just how this morning has unfolded. It doesn't get better, does it? The answers don't get clearer. I think the frustration this morning expressed was how he's being read to be an evasive witness, a witness that, in fact, is not doing all he can to assist the commission in getting to the truth. So let's take some of your WhatsApp voice notes, and then we'll take you back to the Madlanga Commission.
Let's have the conversation. WhatsApp voice notes on 0614 104 107.
Good morning, Cathy. You know, if there is someone who investigates General Sonon, the investigator who investigates him supposed to arrest him. Today, not tomorrow, today, he must be arrested and sleep in jail because he lied and he knows that he lied. I was shocked if I hear properly that he was supposed to be in the commission. He knows everything. There is no delay supposed to be happening. This guy, he confessed that he lied in front of the South African. Then if there is someone investigating him, this guy must be arrested today. When he left Madlanga Commission, must be waited by the police and then put him in jail. Thank you.
So Ramaphosa is now asking for a new special task team to be set up by the acting police minister to probe claims from the Madlanga Commission. I believe that is just another way of more stalling. I don't believe Ramaphosa wants to get to the bottom of the shenanigans that's going on and the criminality that's going on in the country. Why is he, kicking the ball down the road? We need to get rid of this ANC people. We need to get rid of them.
Good morning, Cathy. Cathy, get well soon. Get some ginger, get some, honey, and then, get rid of that flu. Cathy, get well soon. Yo, this commission, Cathy. Even though we know nothing is going to happen to these people, we know we have got a broken system now. These guys, they are not satisfied with their salaries. They are just criminals. We need to revamp these policing departments. Here, we are in trouble, Cathy. We are on our own.
General Simona, it's still not making sense even today on the third day when Jesus rose again.
Cathy, good morning, my sister. It's Sonabo from Armanas. I always believed that, I've always believed that it was only President Jacob Zuma and his certain ministers and CEOs, press or whatever you call it, that they were corrupt. But now I'm very disappointed by the majority of the black leaders that are so corrupt, even in the SAPS. Point, I'm talking about the general that was appeared to the Madlanga Commission yesterday. Jesus, I'm ashamed to be black sometimes,
Morning, Cathy. I hope you're well. Madlanga Commission. Madlanga Commission, Cathy. Hey. A memory loss and amnesia is real at the commission there. That's all I can say. Drama.
Cathy, instead of government fixing the country, providing the service to the people, they doing these commissions, and they're spending billions and billions of rands. Ever since Ramaphosa became the president, there's a new commission every day. Hey? There's a new commission every day, and people are not getting anything out of that, and nobody is going to get arrested. Nobody is going to be punished for this. And they'll tell that the country doesn't have money. The country doesn't have money. They steal money, they form commissions. At the end of the day, nothing is happening. This is Taru, deep proof.
Good morning, Cathy, and good morning to SAFM listeners. Hey, Cathy, I like Madlanga Commission. I really like Madlanga Commission. Madlanga Commission will give you, the first day, he'll give you the whole day or the whole hour or the whole time you need to just dig your own grave. And then they will be patient with you. You're going to dig your own grave. You can say whatever you want to say. But when the second day came, you wish.
Sister,
Hi, I wow this JCK counter.
For 90 years, one voice has informed, challenged, and connected a nation. SAFM, South Africa's national English public radio station. Established in 1936 as the SABC's very first service, the A program, evolving through the English service, Radio South Africa, to SAFM in 1995, shaping thought and strengthening democracy. From a full-spectrum station to a trusted home of news and talk, SAFM continues to lead the conversations 90 years strong. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. You are listening to the Madlanga Commission, live on SAFM.
26 April. I just want to check, Commissioners, what day of the week was it? It was a Saturday. Yeah, it was a Saturday. So we were going to meet just for a casual meeting and chatting things under general in the meeting.
So you were engaging with him socially?
On a social basis, correct.
Okay. Thanks. The remainder of the chats, we dealt with 13 May and some of the dates just before 13 May. Chair, I'm not going to go through it again. There's more in there. It's more on the variations of a theme. I don't think we need to go there, but I'm happy to, if the commissioners have questions.
As I said so quite early on, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So we do, however, need to return to the beginning of the chats because there's something that needs to be dealt with that is quite important. So, General, the page I'd like to take you to is page 10. Okay, at the top of page 10, it actually starts on page 9. You'll see it's a message from you. And you say to Mr. Mohlahlana, I will be in Pretoria next week. I request that if things are favorable, let's finalize the contract for those guys who assisted us. You see that?
I see. Yes.
Okay, so what are you talking about here? Let's start bit by bit. Who are those guys who assisted you and Mr. Mohlahlana?
Commissioners, I just want to check this message. Let me go there.
That's on page 9, General. So you'll see the sender, bottom of page 9, and then it continues on to page 10.
Yes. Thank you very much, Commissioner. On this one, I assume, if my recollection is well, that it was in line with the third party who was assisting him, whom I have referred to talk to him in relation to the thing of the risk management. If you look at page 3 at the bottom, when he was talking about the project, when I responded yesterday, it should be the very same people who have assisted. The language might be us, but it's him in the real perspective.
So you're saying that those guys are who again? It's the
A third party.
A third party assisting with risk assessment.
Correct.
It's more than one person.
Yes.
And when you use the word us, you actually mean you.
You know, I'm saying in the right context, it's him, not me. We commissioners, sometimes when we talk, we happen to use not that English that is in the books, but it is not us per se, as both of us, but it is him in his contract in relation to the risk assessment.
I want to ask you to think about that a bit more, because you sent that message to him at 1957. He responds to you at 2003. So very soon after you sent him this message, 6 minutes later, he sends you this screenshot. Right?
Correct.
And what is that screenshot a picture of?
It's a computerized screenshot.
Depicting what?
It's written SAPS on top, and then it talks about infrastructure, external data, what. Errors found on data set. Yeah, it's a computerized screenshot.
Yes. Do you recognize this? Have you seen this kind of screenshot before?
Where?
It's a SAPS computer system, isn't it?
I saw it when he sent me, the very same one.
You saw it when he sent it to you?
Yes.
Right. And this is a screenshot of an internal SAPS software. It's a computer screen.
Correct.
Yes. And it relates to information concerning his contract.
I won't know what is related to which or what. I don't know. It doesn't say this is related to Medicare 24.
Right. It just, it has numbers. It has sort of, I suppose, reference number. And it says invoices to be uploaded.
Let me check. Where is that? I'm not finding that, that what you say invoice to be uploaded.
You see, it says end of report.
Yeah.
Between tram lines, just above that.
On the right-hand side, General, just above end of report, right-hand side.
Oh, yes, I see it, Commissioners.
It says invoices to be uploaded.
Yes, Commissioners.
So this is an internal finance screenshot, isn't it? It's a screen of finance department software and information.
It looks like that, because I don't normally work with finances, but it looks like that.
Well, when you can see it says South African Police Service at the top, and then infrastructure, external data retrieval, etc., etc. So it's a job card or an entry. It was a search that it seems someone had done, and it came up with this.
When I look at it, Commissioners, first thing I must put it in, Robert, I don't work with finances. I'm unable to explain it, what exactly it is and what it is doing. But when you show me that thing, invoices to be uploaded, in my mind, it tells me that someone was supposed to be paid. That is what comes into my mind. Someone was supposed to be paid. When you look at this thing that is written invoices to be uploaded.
Yes, but it's an internal SAPS. It could be finance or supply chain management department, this information. Why did he send this to you?
I do not know why, but as I indicated yesterday, later far in front there, in my other messages, as I've testified yesterday, I think Tuesday, that he did tell me about his challenges of not receiving his payments.
Yes.
And I don't know why he sent this to me, and then how he get hold of it, because I also tried to check here the police emblem that I don't see it here, but I see it is written there, South African Police Service.
Okay, so he sent you this. Do you dispute that this is an internal SAPS information? Do you dispute that?
It can be purported to be, because these things people sometimes they reproduce.
Sorry, you say that again?
It can be purported to be.
I'm not following. You're saying it may not be.
It can be, it cannot be. So I don't want to say I dispute or I agree. It can be or it cannot be, but this is what he sent.
Okay, so he sent you this, and he says, let me know when you're around. So what did you ask him, what is this?
As I'm saying, later he indicated to me about his challenges, but I don't think I asked him what is this for.
You didn't ask him?
I don't think I asked him.
And you didn't ask him where he received this from? Did it not occur to you at the time? I mean, it's apparent to anyone who looks at it that it's an SAPS internal information, and it's a screenshot.
I don't think I asked him, but I believe if he's called here, he will be able to come and say where he got it, what is this thing, is it authentic SAPS document, or did somebody reproduce it, or what, I don't know, but he will have to come and testify.
Did you report this to anybody within finance or supply chain management to say, I'm getting this thing, it looks like it might be an internal SAPS finance information, contractual information, and you might have a leak? Did you report this to anybody?
No, I didn't report it.
Why not?
It never crossed my mind to report it.
Why not? When you see this, did it not make you think, what is this?
It never crossed my mind to report it, commissioners.
So you sat with this and did nothing?
I didn't report it, commissioners.
And when you spoke to him, Mr. Mohlahlana, after this, what was the conversation? Did he talk to you about why he sent this to you?
He never told me why he sent it to me, but he told me about his challenges of delayed payment and those orders there around, I think, February, March, around there. I will have to check properly the dates here, but I don't know the exact dates, but he did inform me about his challenges of payments, delayed payments.
Yes.
Yeah, but I've never cross-questioned him about this.
So when he told you about his challenges on delayed payments, he just didn't talk to you about this? He just sent this to you without any conversation?
I believe, I'm saying we never discussed this document, me and him.
I don't believe that you are, again, being open and honest with the Commission. This is an internal screenshot of a computer screen to which only people in finance and supply chain management would have access. A private citizen, someone obviously took this this screenshot and sent it to Mr. Mohlahlana. And the reason he sent it to you is for assistance on dealing with his payment of his invoices. As you say, he was talking to you about it, and he was seeking your assistance. What's your comment on that?
He never asked my assistant commissioners.
I'm also say to you that, again, in the person of your position and with your responsibilities, you should have reported this to the relevant person in either finance or supply chain management in head office.
I believe that is the advocate's view, but I didn't report it.
Now, I know the fact that you didn't report it. Do you accept that you should have reported it?
For me, it didn't make any sense. That's why I didn't even look up, discuss it with him and everything, as I've indicated.
I'll maintain what I'm saying. I think you're not being completely open with the Commission.
Come again?
So I'll maintain what I said earlier, that you're just not being open with the Commission about this screenshot and what its meaning is.
Thank you. Commissioners?
Yes.
Are you moving off this page 40?
Yes.
Or 10 rather, page 10. General, that WhatsApp message at the top where you say, I will be in Pretoria next week, I request that if things are favorable, let's finalize the contract for those guys who assisted us. You say, you say that the guys you are referring to are the risk assessment people that
Correct,
that you gave him to speak to.
Correct, Commissioner.
So did I then mishear your evidence yesterday or misunderstand it yesterday when I think you said all you did was just to give him the names and what he did with them you don't know? I thought that was your evidence yesterday.
I said I referred him to people who knows these things of security risk management,
yes,
so that he must continue to deal with that.
Yes, and you had no further involvement.
I said whatever emanated from there, I didn't further ask him about, but this WhatsApp reminded me that when I asked him that did he finalize the contract of those guys, I was referring to the very same people, just inquiring, Commissioner.
So you got involved in discussions with Mr. Mohlahlana about contracts for these risk assessment people. You didn't just give him names and carried on with your life and don't know what he did with them.
We, as I indicated, Commissioners, yesterday, in that we were talking under general, then I brought this topic of risk assessment.
Mm.
Then I've recommended this third-party person,
Yes.
people to do it, because I was of the view that he's going to call them, they must do a presentation and then do that. And then that is why I was asking him here about whether did he finalize the contract, meaning that in my context that they met and did what they were supposed to do, did they finalize their work with him in relation to his security company, Commissioner?
So you knew that he's dealt with these, he's been talking to them, they're talking about contracts. What I'm trying to establish from you is, after you gave him the names, what was your further involvement with this referral? Because the impression you created yesterday, and until you see this WhatsApp message, the impression that you have created to us, in my recollection of your evidence, is all you did was you just gave him the names of these people, and then that was your only involvement in it. When he says to you, I have met with a guy, you remember there were emails, WhatsApps, where he says, I've met with a guy, we asked you, what is this about? You said, I assumed he meant the risk assessment people, I don't know. So you gave us the impression yesterday in your evidence that you just gave him the names, and that was the end of your involvement. Now we have a WhatsApp before us where you're now talking about contracts. Maybe take us, tell us more. What, in fact, was the extent of your involvement with Mr. Mohlahlana and the people that you say you referred him to for risk assessment?
Commissioners, here I was just making a follow-up. I
Yes.
didn't participate in the entire process. I was making a follow-up about the finalization of that contract. But it's not a contract that I am a partner to it or whatever. I was making a follow-up, whether that contract, it's just that maybe I utilized my English wrongfully when I say us.
No, I'm not at us yet.
Yes, yes.
I'm still at the contract because I would like to know, how did you know as at the 15th of January 2025, how did you know that they haven't finalized the contract unless you were involved in whatever was going on? Why would you know that? It's not your business. It's Mr. Mohlahlana's business, according to you, that you're referring him for risk assessment. How and why would you know that there's a contract that must still be completed between them, that must be finalized?
Commissioners, I'm saying I was making a follow-up.
Yes.
Yes. It is
To
not
finalize the contract.
I was making a follow-up if he did finalize the contract. It is unfortunate that I utilized the word us. But I was making a follow-up.
You are requesting him, General. You're not asking for an update. It's not an update you're asking for. And please don't say unfortunate use of language, of English. No, it won't work. You're not asking for an update. You say you request that we finalize the contract. So you know the contract is not yet finalized. And how do you know that the contract is not finalized unless you are much more involved with this than you testified yesterday, or the impression you created yesterday? You knew the contract is not finalized.
As I've indicated, Commissioners, I wanted to know if this contract was finalized, because when we talked that time, he agreed to engage with them. He agreed to engage with those third parties. Hence, I didn't participate. Then I was asking him if this contract, he did finalize it, because the contract is a question of whether did they come, did they give him the thing, did he finalize it? I was checking if he did finalize it.
Okay. General, that can't be, and you know it's not. Your language is very clear. I request that if things are favorable, let's finalize the contract. You know that's not a request. That's not a request for an update. It's not an inquiry. You know as you sit there that, in fact, what this is you're asking Mr. Mohlahlana, let's complete this contract. Let's do what is necessary to finalize it. You know that. And please accept that we also know what the English language you have used here means, because otherwise it's as if you're taking us for fools. You know, you tell us what you want, and then we're not reading the same text. In this text, you say, I request that we finalize the contract. And it says exactly that. So that's what it says. And I'm not asking you for comment further about it. That's what it says. It's language, it's clear. You're asking him to finalize the contract. That's one. Two, you say, for those guys who assisted us. So by now you have received, you know that Mr. Mohlahlana has received assistance, whether it's his company or both your company, but you know from this text that assistance has been provided. So you further evidence that you are much more intimately involved with whoever you are referring to here, the third party, the guys that you are referring to. You have insight. They assisted us. It's not a slip of the English language. It's a fact you are stating, the guys who assisted us. So you are much more involved than you've let on to us. Lastly, the us, it's not a slip of the English language. It's not sometimes we speak us. You're speaking about something that you and Mr. Mohlahlana are involved with these guys who have assisted you, and that you need to finalize the contract. That's what this text is. And please do not say to us things that suggest you think we Yeah, I think we've all done English, at least up to matric. And this is simple English. There's no difficult words that require a dictionary. Your text is clear. I request that if things are favorable, let's finalize the contract for those guys who assisted. And then us, you and Mr. Matlala and whoever else you are referring to. That's what it is.
And just one last point. Remember your earlier discussion with Mr. Matlala.
Do you wish to comment on this, General?
I was advised not to comment, and I'll take it.
No, I did not ask you not to comment. I just don't expect you to have a comment.
Thank you.
You can comment if you want to.
I take that. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
I was just reminding you, your earlier discussion with Mr. Matlala on page 3, it can't also be a slip of a tongue because he says to you, our project, meaning yours and his project. So it can be that both of you don't understand what us and I and me and we mean. Surely it cannot be. Your response to him is to thank him. Your response is not, I don't know what you're talking about. Your response is to say thank you. Want to comment or simply accept that that's what the text says?
I don't want to comment because our context of the text are not the same. That is all. I rather remain silent on this one. I don't want to answer.
Well, the context will be the same because according to you, yesterday you said at page 2 when you were asked about the guy that I met very late, couldn't even notify you, I'm coming back again tomorrow, though he needs to give me feedback. You said that was the guys you referred him to for risk assessment. That's at page 2. That's what you said. It's the guys for risk assessment. And then at page 3 that Commissioner Khumalo is referring you to, where you say the guy where he says, the guy I went to see really helped. I will tell you whenever you back the site. Monday, I'm starting with our project. Nothing is disturbing me anymore. You said that's the risk assessment. So, and then now, at page 10, you say it is the risk assessment. So you're talking, according to you, you're talking about the same people. So the context is not different at all. And Commissioner Khumalo is correct to say, well, your explanation yesterday that the hour at page 3 could not have been referring to a project that you are involved with. When you look at that and then you look at this page 10 where there's a reference to us, it's clear what it clarifies is you are involved with Mr. Matlala, whoever else is involved, we don't know, but certainly with Mr. Matlala. You are involved in a common activity, whatever that common activity is. You tell us that common activity is the risk assessment, but we know from this it's a common activity by the use of plural. And we know from you that all these WhatsApps from page 2, 3, and 10 are about risk assessment. So it's exactly the same context and exactly the same story. Thank you.
Commissioner, General, before you respond, I just want to say that your own version, you now say that the context, your response is very curt in response to the question by Commissioner Baloyi, which is to say the context is different, and you leave it at that. But in paragraph 38 of your statement, you put those communications together. You say all of them about the same thing. So you say that yourself in your statement. So I just wanted to point that out to you before you respond to Commissioner Baloyi, but you may respond to her.
I don't have a response on this matter.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I do not have a response on this matter.
You don't have a response?
Correct.
Okay. Commissioner, I'm moving off from that.
You may. Thank you.
Okay, last thing before we leave the chats, and that concerns the relationship between Mr. Mohlahlana and your son and the assistance that he provides. Now I need to I moved off it. I need to just find the page again. If you bear with me. Yes, page 7. In the middle of the page, you send a message to Mr. Mohlahlana. And you say to him, "Good afternoon, brother. Did you meet with Tato?" And he responds, "Tomorrow. I'm waiting for offer to purchase first." Why were you asking him about meeting with Tato?
It is because he did inform me earlier in our telephone conversation that he's looking for Tato. He can't get hold of him. So when they met this, let me just go to the what you call. I'll tell you now. Page 7.
Yeah, page 7.
Have you found the chats?
Correct, Commissioner.
Yeah.
I did.
Thank you. Yes, Mr. Sim?
So, do you want to answer the question? Or?
Can you repeat it, please?
You asking him, did you meet with Tato? He says to you, "Tomorrow, I'm waiting for offer to purchase first." You indicate in your usual way, "Thank you." And my question is about this conversation you're having and about the broader relationship between you, your son, and Mr. Mohlahlana. So, what was this conversation about between you and him and the offer to purchase?
Look, I believe that he was updating me about what they are doing with my son, because when I asked him, "Did you meet with Tato?" Remember, I testified on Tuesday that at some stages, he asked me if I know Tato Senon. I explained, and then he explored to me in relation to the business that him and my son were starting to engage on, and then I was very much happy with that. And eventually, if he doesn't get Tato, he will always come to me and say, "Inform Tato to call me." It's not, he never said, "Do this and this and this for Tato," but inform Tato to call me. They call, sometimes they meet. I was just checking if they met because I knew they were supposed to meet to do their own business.
So why did he say to you, "I'm waiting for offer to purchase first"? If it was not part of your business, it was just something simply between Mr. Mohlahlana and your son, what would you know about an offer to purchase?
It doesn't need any rocket science. If a person is doing a business with your son, for him, if he decides to inform you about the progress of the project, sorry, I'm saying project, if it decides to inform you about what exactly is happening and where, it is good. But the questions that I'm required to answer here it's him. Why did he decide to do so? But I am saying I believe that he was updating me about what was happening regarding the business between him and my son.
Okay.
And then when you want my son, if he can't get hold of him, I'll get my son and say, "Please call Mr. Mohlahlana, is looking for you," not going into details of their business.
Okay, so but you are facilitating the relationship between Mr. Mohlahlana and your son.
I vehemently deny that. I'm not facilitating. Is a parent who is being informed about the progress of a business venture that his or her son is doing with another business person.
He was keeping you updated as a parent.
Absolutely true.
And it was necessary for him to keep doing this. So you were aware of, because he was updating you, you were aware of these engagements between him and your son.
He will update me as and when he deems it fit, but he was not obliged to.
And then if you go to page 16, in fact, it starts on page 15.
Yes.
And it's immediately after the video clip.
Yes.
On 6 February. So it's on the same day as that video clip. Remember, the video clip was of the person saying that we're going to cancel a contract with non-performance by the service provider.
Commissioners, I think the issue of the video clip, we will still have to come to that. Maybe if we can finalize this humble request before we go to the video clip, because it will be my request that it must be played again, that video clip that we were provided with on, I think it's the first day or second day.
So I'm not going to the video clip. The point of my question is not, I'm just saying it's below the video clip.
But I think the point is fair, that the general, once the video clip played again, he was asked questions about it, and then we stopped at midway for the general to view the video overnight. I'm not saying that must be done now.
Oh, okay.
But all I'm saying is the point is fair, that at some point that should be done.
Fair enough.
Is that fair, General?
Correct, Commissioners. Thank you.
So then if we can get back to where I was. So on this, he sends you that video clip, and then he sends you this, again, it appears to be screenshots of a conversation with somebody from an estate agency about an offer to purchase. It goes on for a few pages. If you just page through.
Page 17?
You can, it
Because
starts.
you said page 2? I had
Page through. I said you can page through it, because it starts bottom of 15, it goes 16, 17, offer to purchase, 18, picture of a 2-bedroom flat in Menlyn. Is this the same building where you meet?
No.
And then on page 19, after sending you all of this, you say thank you.
Correct, Commissioners.
Right, so you're saying he's just keeping you abreast of his dealings with your son?
Yes, because after he sent this to me, I'm not sure he sent it to me first or to Tato first, but he sent it to both of us, which is that he was updating me, happily updating me. I took it, he was updating me about the progress they are making with my son, of which it is not me who demanded the update. Thank you, Commissioners.
I'll tell you what it seems like from the context of all of these chats, and I'll allow you to comment. When you read the communications about those guys, the contract assisting us, his messages to you about the screenshot, for example, invoices to be uploaded, what you're saying about he's got problems getting paid, he's seeking assistance from you, from others, we've gone through that already. All of that is in order for him to get progress on payment on his contract. And that's not entirely disconnected from him, from his ability to continue doing business with your son. I'm saying that to do business with your son and to assist your son on purchase of property, he needs to be paid. And that's why he was having these conversations with you about payment of the contract.
I'm not sure that I follow the connection with the purchase of the property. I get this about the assistance and so on, the meeting with General Mkhwanazi and so on. I don't know how the issue of the purchase of the property gets woven into all of that. I'm not saying there is no way.
Okay, Chair, I was trying to
that may be done, but I just don't get how you get there.
I was trying to shortcut through it because of time. There's a whole lot more sort of WhatsApp chat between the son and Mr. Mohlahlana, which the witness would have seen.
You see, the difficulty is the general may also be, I'm not answering on his behalf. If I'm confused, one cannot discount the possibility that the general may also be confused.
Well, maybe not. Let me not make any speculation. Let me simply ask a question and the general can answer it.
Yes.
And that is whether there is any connection. Thank you, Chair. Is there any connection between the engagement between your son and Mr. Mohlahlana and the contract that he is seeking your assistance on for payment?
There is totally no connection, Commissioners.
And when, knowing that he is assisting your son, and I know that, Chair, this is something we went through a little bit earlier, I'm not going to dwell on it very long, but I must put it to the witness. Given what you said about taking distance from Mr. Mohlahlana and your concern, did you alert your son to be wary of getting into business deals with Mr. Mohlahlana?
The 5th of March, Commissioners, when the issue of being wary, by then, before the 5th of March, if my recollection is well, I want to check the WhatsApp between my son and Mr. Mohlahlana, because if she can assist me to look into where is those WhatsApp. Because as I've testified, this deal never went through, and then I've employed the commission to ask people to go double check. Since then, when this thing was stopped, my son and Mr. Mohlahlana never communicated anymore. They never spoke, and he never updated me with any other thing.
So since when?
I'm looking for dates. I want to check. I want my son's WhatsApp messages with him. Thank you, Commissioners. The last communication between Mr. Mohlahlana and my son, I think it was 3 March.
3 March.
3 March.
Before the critical 5th of March.
Before the critical 5th of March. Then that was it.
Oh, okay. So you're saying they cut off ties, he cut off ties?
They never communicated any further, because I believe the issue of the business venture didn't go through. As I indicated, that currently my son is doing something else over and above the other things that he did before with other business persons. And I must emphasize there's no connection of this business venture of my son and my relationship with Mr. Mohlahlana.
General, so you say this transaction didn't go through, this attempt to buy an apartment?
Correct, Commissioner.
This is the only business that they tried to do together. There was no other one that they tried.
The best of my recollection, Commissioner, yes.
This is the only one?
Yes, Commissioner.
Okay. And they were buying an apartment together? Or
Yes.
did they have a company that was going to be buying property, or you have these two individuals, Mr. Matlala and Mr. Tato Sinona, as individuals buying this apartment?
When I look at these documents here, he wanted the FICA, at one stage he requested the FICA documents of my son, but how were they going to buy it, register in which company or whatever? I don't have knowledge of that. I can't assist the commissioners with that.
All right. Maybe let me ask more clearly. What I'm trying to find out is, did they ever have a company together, to your knowledge?
No, commissioners.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I, General, just ask you a few questions? Let's start on page 7 of this. Same bundle, page 47.
Page?
Sorry, 7, not 47. The impression you created was that it was Cathy Mohlahlana who asked you if you know Tato Sinona. But when I look at the WhatsApp text, 9 January 2025 at 17:39, it looks like it is you who is asking Cathy Mohlahlana whether he met Tato, your son.
Correct, Commissioner.
Yes. So where does Cat ask you if you know Tato Sinona?
I testified on Tuesday, Commissioners, that in the latter part of 2024, I can't recall the exact date when he was asking me about my son, not here in January, Commissioners.
And what business do you say they were doing together in the latter part of 2024?
They were discussing this business. He asked me, let me just repeat what I said, Commissioners. Do you know Tato Sinona? Yes, he's my son. What about him? We were talking. No, we are trying to do business in terms of property, in a property business. I said, oh, okay, you're doing business with my son. I'm happy. Congratulations. There was no WhatsApp talkings and everything with relation to that because we were together, me and Mr. Mohlahlana.
So they were going to buy an apartment. That's the business.
He said business in property, and as things are unfolding, and they were sending these things to me, and then they were buying an apartment.
And then just for completeness on page 11, remember on page 10, we've already been through it, you had a discussion about a contract that was to be finalized with the people who assisted us. And then on page 11, you are having the conversation with Mr. Mohlahlana, you tell him that you are around Pretoria, and then he says to you, the second last WhatsApp, afternoon Duna, can you please, Tato, to send me his FICA documents? I sent a message and called, he's not responding. So that's the WhatsApp you're referring to, about the FICA documents?
Correct.
Okay. And then later on page 18, if we start on page 16, 17, 18, we can see that it was Mr. Mohlahlana who was going to pay for this property. I think that much is clear from the WhatsApp on page 18, right?
I see here they are talking.
Because he's talking to the agent, and the agent says on the OTP under point number 34, can you state how you want to make payment? Do you see that?
I see that.
Yes. So from this, it's quite clear that it was Mr. Mohlahlana who was going to make payment for this apartment.
I see here they were asking him, how do you want to make payment?
Yes.
But I don't know. I can't say yes or no or what was their arrangements there, Commissioners.
But that's what it looks like from this document.
Looks like, but I can't say that it is, Commissioner.
Yes. Because it leaves me with the impression that Mr. Mohlahlana, the whole arrangement was about Mr. Mohlahlana purchasing an apartment for your son. If you don't know, you don't know. If you care to comment, you can comment about that.
Commissioner, my son is a business person. He does have his own house. He doesn't need an additional house to stay in. If whatever he wants to do to get money legally so to support his family, I'm happy with that as a parent. Thank you, Commissioners.
My question is, it looks from these documents that Mr. Mohlahlana was going to purchase the apartment for your son.
For me,
sorry, my mic was off. Let me try and repeat. I was focusing on you and forgot about the mic. It looks from these documents that Mr. Mohlahlana was going to purchase an apartment for your son. That's what it looks like.
maybe when Mr. Mohlahlana is here, he will respond to that. I can't respond to this. Thank you, Commissioners. But all I know, it was a venture, joint venture.
General, from what we have seen, Mr. Mohlahlana appears to be a man involved in business or businesses on a large scale. You even see a contract of 360 million rand with SAPS, and there's mention of him also participating in the Tembisa contract. And he also has the CAT VIP protection services, and perhaps one could go on, I don't know. Serious businessman on a large scale. It looks very odd to me that he would have wanted to go on a business venture with your son for a single apartment. How much were they going to make out of that, sharing that between the two of them? It looks very odd to me. I would understand, we're actually shown a picture of the block of apartments at the bottom of page 18. I would understand if they were buying that block of apartments. But I don't know, the extent in monetary terms of your son's business or businesses. So I will not go there. I'll just talk about Mr. Mohlahlana, to whom we've been exposed. Does it not look odd to you?
For me, it never looked odd, Commissioners. I was happy that my son will get income to support his family. He stays at his house. He's 33 years of age. He's got a wife and his 3 kids. I was happy that if my son does whatever he does that can put food on the table, as long as it's within the law, I'm happy with that. I don't know, the Commissioner is talking about why they don't buy a bulk of flats. So I don't know the nitty-gritties.
No. I'm not saying why. I'm not really making that point. My point is more. Why would they go on a business venture just for this one apartment? As I say, I know nothing about your son, the extent of the businesses and the monetary value and so on. But we've been exposed to Mr. Mohlahlana. And I'm saying, perhaps let's just look at Mr. Mohlahlana. What would the interest of Mr. Mohlahlana be in going on a business venture with somebody to buy just one apartment? Yes, I do see that it says this luxurious 2-bedroom apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment Nohal. But it just doesn't make, it looks very odd to me that Mr. Mohlahlana would have been interested in such a business venture. What's your comment?
I've taken note of what the Commissioner is saying. My comment is that I was happy that my son is getting a business that will enable him to support his family. The issue of oddness, I was happy that my son is getting work, because my son is in this business. He registered his company. He never worked anywhere other than registering his own company, trying to look for work there, look for work there, look for work there. when Mr. Matlala asked me about him, that this one of mine is him who went there to propose. And then I said, yeah, it's my son, and they continued. I mean, I've never said and said this is how it must be done and everything. It is just that him, Mr. Matlala, will inform me about certain progresses. And then he will tell me if he doesn't find Tato, then at some stages he'll say, I message, I call, I don't find him. Then he says, he called, it's fine. So why he decided to do that, Mr. Matlala, with my son to buy this one apartment there, I do not know, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Well, General, there is the, and I really am not asking, that this first part at least, I'm not asking a question, but just making the observation, firstly, that, you know, there's this oddity that it is your son that Mr. Matlala does business with. Mr. Matlala is your friend, is your brother, and yet he's never met Tato. He meets him randomly on your account. It has nothing to do with you. He comes to you and asks you, do you know Tato Sinona? When in fact you've described him as closely as you have. He's your brother. It's quite strange that he wouldn't know that you have a son called Tato, but I do no more than mention it. But more importantly, at page 7, that WhatsApp message, you're the one that starts. Mr. Matlala has not asked you anything about Tato up to that point. You're the one that says, did you meet with Tato? On its face of it, first, certainly on its face, you have had a discussion with Mr. Matlala about Tato. On the face of this WhatsApp message at page 7 on the 9th of January. And this is really, when you talk about a follow-up, where you're asking for information, this is the one. You knew they were supposed to meet. So we know you do discuss Tato with Mr. Matlala. So on the 9th at 17:39, you say, did you meet with Tato? This is you initiating on the face of it. Well, if not initiating, you are confirming an earlier conversation about Tato. Now you want to know, have they met? And then he says, tomorrow. And then he says, I'm waiting for offer to purchase first. You don't ask, what are you talking about? And I hear you when you say, Tato is 33, he's got his own company, he runs his business. And I accept that part. But strangely, Mr. Matlala thinks you know about this purchase, even though Tato is a 33-year-old married man who's running his own business. Mr. Matlala says to you, I'm waiting for the offer to purchase first, so you know something about it. You don't say, what are you talking about, which I think one can infer. You know that they're buying an apartment and where things are at that point. And then when you then go to page 11, that WhatsApp message where he says, can you please, Tato, send me his FICA documents? I sent a message and called, he's not responding. Again, it's quite odd that Mr. Matlala would, through you, would make you a conduit about a business. His business between him and Tato, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. But Mr. Matlala says, sends you basically, effectively, says to you, get Tato to send me his FICA documents. That's another oddity. And on the face of it, it suggests that in fact the business transaction is between you and Mr. Matlala, and Tato is brought in the middle of it to assist in that he becomes your proxy in that transaction. And I think one has to be fair to you and put that impression to you so that you can comment. So just to make sure that you understand what I'm saying, that you first say, have you met with Tato? There's nothing before that between you and Mr. Mohlahlana that makes this message make sense. So we have to fill in the gaps. And the gap that I'm proposing is to be filled in is you've been talking to Mr. Mohlahlana about a transaction that he will be doing with Tato. You have been talking to him. So now you want to know, have they met? Mr. Mohlahlana says to you tomorrow, I'm waiting to get the OTP first. He doesn't give you a story about the transaction. This is what I'm doing with Tato. So you know what OTP is talking about, but it's not your business, you tell us. It's of a 33-year-old son. He has no business discussing it with you unless you're involved with it. So the impression it creates is that, well, you know about this transaction. And then at page 11, he says, tell him to send me his FICA documents. The impression it creates to me, and I may be wrong about it, the impression it creates to me is that you are, in fact, the one that Mr. Mohlahlana and Tato were buying an apartment for, or in relation to. You were the real beneficiary of it. And Tato would have been a proxy in this transaction. That's the impression I get, and I may be wrong. You may comment if you want to.
Thank you, Commissioners. The analogy is incorrect. I am not the proxy. They were doing business. I testified, Commissioner, that in the latter part of the year, it is unfortunate there are no WhatsApp or whatever communications there. The Commission is only having these ones that were extracted from the phone of Mr. Mohlahlana. But Tato, my son, is the one who approached him, Mr. Mohlahlana. Mina, I was happy that my son will be able to make some means for him to support his family. I know what is happening in businesses. Sometimes the business blooms, sometimes goes down. So I was very happy. Once it goes down, as a son, he will say, Papa, I'm asking for money to buy Millimil. But I was a happy father. And then there's nothing of such a nature that I was, Tato is a conduit to me to benefit from that property. If I was the one who's benefiting, I wanted that property, it would have maybe been, you would see in the messages here that maybe I talk about it and pressurize him to buy the property and so forth. I knew they were buying property because when he asked me about my son, he said my son approached him, he wanted to have a business venture into properties.
Thank you, General.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Commissioners.
Thanks. Chair, I'm going to leave the WhatsApp chats entirely now. There's one more topic that we need to cover that emerges from the statement of the witness, and that's the Port Shepstone drug bust issue.
Commissioners.
Yes, General.
I have a request, Commissioners.
Yes, General.
My humble request is that before we go there, it's totally a new topic if we're closing here. My humble request, Commissioners, is that can we deal with the video, because the video talks to the charts. Then when we close, we know we're no more going there. We're going to deal with the thing.
That's logical. That's logical, yes.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. If my request, if I may address the Commissioners, is that I want the video to be played again, because I was asked questions. I was told that you take a document with a police emblem. A document with a police emblem is sent to you by a private person where it was in a meeting. I received that clip. I went through it over and over and over again. Therefore, it's my humble request that it be played again.
Yes, General. Can it be found and played, please? Sorry. And General, will you be asking that it be paused, or do you want it to be played from beginning to the end without any stops?
I will be asking that it be paused, Commissioners.
All right. You'll say when then. Thank you.
Correct, Commissioners.
Sorry, struggling. Should we? I see it's 8 minutes. I thought you were mouthing 5 minutes. Did I get that correctly? Then, if it's 5 minutes, that will bring us something like a couple of minutes before 1. Perhaps let's just adjourn for lunch. Then, is that fine? And when we come back at 2, then you should be ready. Is that fine? General?
Commissioners?
It seems they're struggling to, I don't know whether to find or to play it. So I'm suggesting that perhaps we just adjourn for lunch and start playing it at 2 o'clock.
I'm at your mercy, Commissioners. I'm
Yes.
fine with it. Thank you.
Let us adjourn until 2 o'clock.
Thanks, Chair.